so is this the night. For 4 years and 2 days the clock has been ticking from Manchester United's last success on the sultry spring night in Stockholm. The wait for the next piece of silverware has become increasingly impatient. That 2017 triumph felt like a crossroads for United, a fifth European trophy brought with it a return to the Champions League with its accompanying ammunition in the transfer market, and yet they couldn't kick on. The trophy cabinet lying dormant ever since. But perhaps a few more of the foundations are in place this time. Inevitable comparisons have been made with the last drought like this. The 5 years from Norman Whiteside to Lee Martin, when patience and perseverance were needed, along with foresight and belief. An ending that barren spell truly was the catalyst to United's greatest era. Tonight a chance for more faith and patience to be rewarded, to provide a tangible reward for the improvements made, not least in getting to a final after the near misses and frustrations. The defeats in 4 successive semi-finals isn't unique to United, because Villarreal have had the same misfortune, a quartet of failures on the European stage when the final was beckoning, only now making it through to a showpiece event for the first time. And for a club with an erratic history, from a town the size of Folkestone, it's an impressive achievement. The team flitted between the divisions, one season up, the next season down, which with the club colours earned their nickname of the Yellow Submarine. In the town where they were born, they've now become accustomed to the success, but they have still spent more years in the third tier and more years in the fourth than they have in the top flight. From there to a European final, some story. The Spanish press would have you believe the entire country's behind them in their quest for their first ever major honour, with the most successful manager in Europa League history hoping to mastermind it. Emery won this competition 3 times with Sevilla and hopes to be the first man to lift it 4 times, although he has already failed once at the final hurdle in his time at Arsenal. Villarreal in their customary kit of all yellow, Manchester United red shirts, black shorts get us underway. From Wembley to Rotterdam, from Barcelona to Moscow and Stockholm, venues indelibly inked in Manchester United's illustrious history, where European accolades and silverware went hand in hand. But now a night in Gdansk, the chance for a 6th continental trophy, and an opportunity to end the longest trophy drought in a generation. Alongside me, watching on from our studio monitors in London, Dean Ashland.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, a huge game for Manchester United and their players, and it's about, first and foremost, individually, can you supersede your opponent's work rate, intensity, desire, hunger in every single position? That's what they need to do at the start of this game. If they do that, they've got more than enough quality to win this final.
Well, Manchester United, who are kicking from left to right, have given a free kick away. It was a foul by Mason Greenwood on Danny Parejo. Reminder of the two teams, De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Baye, Lindelof and Shaw across the back for United, McTominay and Pogba, Greenwood, Fernandes and Rashford, and Cavani up front. And Villarreal with Woolley in goal, Foyt, who's in possession now and recovered from a hamstring injury at right back, Albiol, Pau Torres and Pedraza, Pinho, Capu, Parejo, Trigueros, and then Gerard Moreno and Bacca are up front. A long switch of play from Albiol, who will have gone through the visualisation exercises of having his hands on the trophy at the end of the night. Ball laid back for the dark-haired former Queen's Park Ranger Danny Parejo, who really made his name with Valencia. Play down towards the right-hand touchline for the hugely impressive teenager Yeremy Pinho. Work back for Foyt, wearing 8, playing it right back. And then work through the midfield where Pinho couldn't quite pick it up, but Carlos Bacca will drop off the play. Scott McTominay toe pokes it away. Play forward by Parejo, one back though by Greenwood, and now Bruno Fernandes will be able to bring it forward, with Rashford in closer tennis to his left. And the yellow shirts all around made it very difficult to be able to play an effective pass. And straight away an illustration really of the tactics that we can expect from Villarreal when they haven't got the ball, and Etienne Capoue will have to do such an important job in that regard.
Yeah, Etienne Capoue, excellent. As soon as Bruno Fernandes picked up the ball there, he was on him. Didn't give him a second to get his head up, look to play to Rashford, forced him backwards. And I would have liked to have seen actually that a little bit earlier from Fernandes to Rashford. And if he's done his homework and seen Foyt, then get at him, run him behind, really test that hamstring, get him running at full pace early on in this game.
Ball is back with Victor Lindelof at the heart of the Manchester United defence, partnered by Eric Bailly rather than Axel Tuanzebe tonight. And Baye controlling the ball, works it back to his left-hand side. Baye, a former Villarreal player, he made nearly 50 appearances for the club before his move to Manchester United. Although it's been another injury-hit campaign, he has made more Premier League starts this season than in the last two combined. Partnering Victor Lindelof in the biggest match of his career tonight. Ball out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Foyt, the familiar figure, the Argentinian international. Hurls it forward over the halfway line. Brought down neatly, but a misplaced pass. Seized upon by Greenwood, who's taken up a pretty narrow position from the right-hand side, out of possession. We're talking about the potential for numerical superiority in the engine room for Villarreal, and Greenwood has countered that by playing very narrow himself off the Manchester United right. Here's Rashford, with Luke Shaw making a run outside him. Banks of yellow and a relatively low block behind the ball when they're out of possession of 4-4-2 Villarreal. Paul Pogba bringing it forward now to inside left. High switch of play, trying to stretch it, finding Aaron Wan-Bissaka in his 100th Manchester United appearance today. Rolling the ball into the feet of Mason Greenwood. Greenwood trying to spin away from Parejo. Finds Pogba. Work to his left-hand side for Luke Shaw. Shaw will just turn it forward down the line for Marcus Rashford, who can't supply with the return ball. Foyt's there to knock it away, and Lindelof comes across to sweep up as the Argentinian trying to break down the right-hand side, and it goes back for Eric Baye. With 4.5 minutes in, it's the 2021 Europa League final. It's live on TalkSport with Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton alongside me.
I really like this play from Villarreal, out of possession, nice low block like you said. Plenty of bodies in and around Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba, make it difficult for Manchester United, and then they can look to counter-attack at certain moments, but try and frustrate Manchester United.
Lindelof works it wide for Shaw, ball in towards Edison Cavani at the near post. He tried to get a flick contact with the foot at the near post. He couldn't do that, and as it just broke away inside the penalty area, he chased it himself, and Foyt has done well, just standing firm, and it goes out of play for a goal kick.
He's one of the world's best, Edison Cavani. Movement inside the area. How early he already makes his decision and sees and spots where the space is fantastic. The anticipation is brilliant. And then the speed of which he then moves and arcs his run into the position is so good to watch.
9 goals in his last 10 games at Cavani, 5 in his last 3 ties in this competition, in which he's had huge success. 12 goals in his last 10 Europa League ties, a hugely impressive record. As a man that has scored against Villarreal in the past in the Champions League some 9 seasons ago, which was revenge actually for Villarreal knocking him out of this competition when he was a Napoli player 10 years ago. Lindelof is in possession now for United, finding Shaw exchanging passes with Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. A little bit of space for Cavani. Pau Torres comes across. Rashford picks up the loose ball. It's inside the penalty area and missed his kick. Sends it up over McTominay, who's dragged the shot from the edge of the D well wide.
Well, he's more than capable of striking a good ball. Scott McTominay. It was poor in the end from Pau Torres, just needed to clear. Instead he tried to take it down and miscontrolled, and Rashford was onto him, and you could tell Rashford just wanted to get it onto that right foot and strike, and in the end there was too many yellow shirts in front of him. Laid it off lovely to McTominay, and then maybe just in his energy to get the ball off, just snatched it and dragged it wide.
He's involved again though, McTominay. The Lancashire playing it in the feet of Bruno Fernandes. Wan-Bissaka, good ball back for Fernandes again on the corner of the penalty area, but Pedraza's going to be able to bring it away, and Wan-Bissaka, as he does so well, just sliding in, immaculate timing just to come across and block his run down the left-hand side, put it out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Villarreal. You're listening to Villarreal against Manchester United in the Europa League final. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the UK's #1 phone recycler. Get cash for your tech the smart way. There have been 4 previous meetings between these two sides and not a goal in any of them, remarkably, which means that United have faced Villarreal more times without scoring than any other opponent in their history. Hoping to put that right at the earliest possible juncture. They're on the front foot again. Pogba to Rashford. Foyt with a well-timed challenge, and Rashford has stayed down hurt. Play goes on. And it's very well worked away by Gerard Moreno. The play's going to stop. Rashford is on his haunches, and there's a Villarreal player down as well. Was caught by Pogba, who was leaning over him, showing some concern. And Raul Albiol is there as well. Rashford's okay. He's back on his feet from the initial hefty challenge around the edge of the D. But the Villarreal player remains down, injured. It was just a sweeping challenge which just very slightly took Rashford off his feet, and then Foyt, in trying to bring it away, lost his balance and collided as he fell backwards into Paul Pogba's leg. Pogba's fine, but that was a sore one for Foyt, who wouldn't have seen the impact was about to come. And he's just having his head attended to, and this could be a lengthy stoppage. 8.5 gone, 9 gone, 0-0 here on TalkSport.
Yeah, just about got enough of the ball in the Rashford challenge on Foyt, and then as he's then gone to step out, he's gone to control the ball and stepped right on top of the ball. It's then flung him sideways into Paul Pogba, and his knee has come across and clashed with his head, and that's why Paul Pogba was so distressed so quickly, because he knew that there was obviously a cut to the head, and Juan Foyt was in some discomfort.
Well, this does not look good for him, and they're warming up Mario Gaspar, the Spaniard who was in the side that reached the semi-finals of this competition back in 2011 and 2016. One of those orange stretchers has been brought on by 4 orange-suited stretcher bearers. I'm glad to say that they are leaving the field again, still holding the stretcher, but without any cargo. And Foyt is having a cut on the bridge of his nose being attended to, and might need a stitch potentially. He's still got blood running down his face, but as he leaves the field, it looks as though, as he can do so under his own steam, he's going to be all right. They're happy that concussion protocol is going to allow him to continue, and in fact, as he pulls the bloodstained tissue away from his nose, the cut isn't actually as bad as perhaps was first feared. He's going to be okay and able to continue. And so play goes on without him for now. We're 10 minutes in. There's a couple of minutes that stoppage, and still 0-0 here on TalkSport. Albiol's in possession. Veteran playing at the heart of the defence, the man that scored the aggregate winner in the semi-finals against Arsenal. And he's just played down towards the left-hand side for Pedraza. Now back for Pau Lopez, who's been linked with a whole host of clubs, including United. He works it back to his goalkeeper, Rulli, whose left-footed clearance was by no means his best, and he shanked it outside the penalty area, but not too much further away. And the 10-men of Villarreal just struggling to maintain possession now, and Bacca has given it away. Foyt's having to change his shirt. Meanwhile, play goes on with Greenwood, right inside of the area. Bruno Fernandes was in there waiting, and it was good covering from Etienne Capoue, who comes across to put it out of play, blocked the cross, and out for the first corner of the night.
Excellent that Etienne Capoue spotted the danger of Mason Greenwood, but what makes him so deadly is that he can go left and right. So he faked to go left, took it down to the line and looked to whip that in, like you said, to Bruno Fernandes, and it was well blocked in the end. But they just look a little bit overwhelmed at the moment, Villarreal, overpowered by Manchester United.
This first corner, a left-footed in-swinger from Shaw. First contact from a Villarreal player. Knocked away by Moreno, chipped back over the top by Bruno Fernandes. Pogba trying to help it back in, might have been offside, and in fact the flag has come up from Nicola Dano, the French assistant referee, and it will be a free kick to Villarreal inside their own penalty area. Pogba had just nicked half a yard there.
Well, you just think, how are Villarreal going to get out? You know, if they're going to play nice and deep and in a good formation, well, how are you going to get out with Moreno and Bacca? They're going to be overpowered by Bailly and Lindelof. So how are they going to play it? They're going to have to try and play their way out. So if Manchester United, nice and bright, good intensity, they're going to find it hard to get out.
Well, Foyt is going to be an unmistakable figure when he comes back on. Reminiscent a little, and I'm showing my age in using this as a cultural reference, of the Michelin Man, such as the bandaging around his head. Dean's just looking at me with a puzzled expression, but
oh no, I've been called that many a time.
It's I thought it was a lack of age thing, an age thing for me and a lack of age thing for you. He's got this massive bandage on, and he's going to be brought back on. He has now come back on at right back, and is just engaging with Marcus Rashford. 13 minutes in, and it's 0-0. Slightly under-hit pass from McTominay. Just kept Bailly honest, and he had to just step up the tempo to come across the edge of his own penalty area, to lay it back to his goalkeeper. De Gea can clear it, and it goes out of play for a Manchester United throw on the far touchline, which as we look at these pictures is there left. 13 gone, 0-0.
I mean, what's changed dramatically, I think, in the last 10 to 15 years is how forward players have to defend. And so far, the Villarreal forwards, whenever Manchester United have got possession, especially with the two centre-backs, they're making sure that their angles are really good, making sure you're looking over your shoulder to stop that ball going into Paul Pogba and McTominay and Bruno Fernandes. And as a forward, sometimes that's your role defensively. Not to go and chase, but just to sit and really try and get your angles right to make it difficult for Bailly and Lindelof to play through the middle of you.
Villarreal coming into this tie unbeaten in Europe all season, which has been a very impressive run. They would be the 7th team to win the competition with an unbeaten record, first of which was Spurs nearly 50 years ago now. They beat Wolves in the final in 72, and most recently Chelsea when they beat Arsenal in the final just 2 years ago. And Pedraza makes his way forward here and claims that a yellow card should be shown to Wan-Bissaka for the way in which he was blocked off. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken by Villarreal. Wan-Bissaka and by sandwiching Pedraza as he motored forward. A free kick which Villarreal will take just inside the Manchester United half. They've seen very little of the ball in United territory so far, but this is the first set-piece opportunity for them.
And that's got to be important. Pedraza, the full-back. Mason Greenwood, I wouldn't say is the best tracker of an attacker, so test him out.
And here is Pedraza now. High left-footed ball swung in. It's Wan-Bissaka. And ricochet straight back out of play. Talk about Villarreal's impressive record in the competition this season. They've scored 3.5 times as many goals as they've conceded in it. Played in only 8 in 13 ties. So very tight and resolute. We've already seen examples of that with the pressure that United have had, and not really a shot worthy of the name. First corner taken short for Villarreal. Parejo back coming in round the back. It was a good opportunity for Trigueros, who slid in, but on his weaker foot he couldn't really make the kind of contact that he wanted on the right hand side of the penalty area, the left footer, and he's just skied it straight out of play, but he was coming in unmarked.
Yeah, Trigueros just round the back. That was clearly something they've worked on, really nicely worked set play. All of the yellow shirts that were in the box all forced their way, dragging a Manchester United defender with them, blocking them off for that space at the back post, and as he was sliding in, just came right off his shin and away.
Foyt has got this big, thick, white crepe bandage around his forehead, but still signs of blood coming from his nose, and might have to go off the field again shortly to get it attended to. His throw down the right-hand touchline, looking for Pino, well dealt with by Shaw, and then Cavani's been caught off the ball by Albiol. Two players who know each other so well from Italian football, and Albiol will be spoken to by the referee. I think Albiol clearly felt that Cavani made the most of the challenge that was on him there. It is a free kick to United, midway between the edge of the penalty area and halfway.
There's a little bit of experienced from a couple of old-timers. Albiol seizing the opportunity to ram straight through the back of Cavani's calves, gave away the free kick. Cavani, knowing that the challenge was coming in, then rolls around trying to get Albiol yellow carded. Albiol, with his experience, then goes up to the referee all nice and coy, saying, I didn't touch him. Brilliant from the pair.
They weren't quite at Napoli together as Cavani left the one summer and Albiol arrived just a few weeks later after Cavani had departed for PSG. Foyt is off the field again, and they are taken out. Just winced as I watched it. They took out the plug of cotton wool from his nose. It was entirely red, and it was followed by gallons of blood. Tony Hancock wouldn't have liked that one, as the ball will be cleared down the right-hand side by Gerard Moreno for Villarreal. Worked back through the midfield, and Bacca, who scored a couple of goals in one of the finals for Sevilla a few years back, has lost possession, felt he was fouled. The referee ignores it. Cavani's won it back. Shaw to Rashford. Villarreal again, temporarily, down to 10 men as Foyt receives further medical treatment, and Capoue can't cut out a ball which goes through towards Rashford, but it will then be well cut out by Pino. Pino with a little back heel flick, and there was the impetuosity of youth because it fell straight for Cavani, just overplaying there, and then Gerard Moreno coming back to cover, looked as though he leant into Cavani and rested him to the ground, and referees let that go as well. Now Bacca has it, he's lost out to Pogba. It's all very feisty and frantic and frenetic in that midfield area. But Manchester United can come away with the ball. Fernandes whipping it in, and Greenwood was waiting edge of the 6-yard box, but now comes the goalkeeper Rulli to make the save.
I like it. Clement Turpin let the play go. Edinson Cavani was looking for the free kick. He was pulling himself across the Villarreal player rather than there actually being a challenge. Let it go. Makes for a nice feisty start.
Mason Greenwood's got it now. Greenwood more than 100 United games behind him now, despite his tender years. Back from Wan-Bissaka. Scott McTominay able to bring it forward. He's only 10 yards outside the penalty area. A little bit deeper than that by the time he's played it down towards Shaw. Pogba made an early darting run, and Etienne Capoue has shouted his every move so far. Shaw still got it. Rashford comes in off the left-hand touchline. He plays it back to Victor Lindelof. Lindelof working into the feet of Bruno Fernandes. And now Pogba has it. Pogba 5 yards in for the left-hand touchline, rolls it forward for Shaw and straight back again. And the official statistics at the moment, as near as make no difference, 60-40 in United's favour the ball. Greenwood, back for Eric Bailly. Nightwear shots so far have been at a premium. And Wan-Bissaka, who may well be the outlet that can find the most space for Manchester United tonight because of the way Villarreal's set up, can whip a ball inside the penalty area here. Foyt gets it away, back in from Luke Shaw, and he flashed it across the edge of the 6-yard box, and then his head were in his hands as he was disappointed that nobody was able to get a touch just to divert it in over the line. 0-0, 20 minutes gone.
Yeah, it was a great ball from Wan-Bissaka. Just fired that in just over the top of the first man. Albiol just brilliantly to backflick that away, and then Luke Shaw, yes, he's probably trying to shoot into the far post, but also he's drilling it across thinking, can someone get across the goalkeeper? And there wasn't a red shirt that anticipated.
And now Pogba has hurt himself in making a challenge on Gerard Moreno, and stays down holding his left knee. The free kick has gone Villarreal's way. Pogba still down and now sits back up. It's actually the initial challenge was a foul by Shaw on Gerard Moreno, who then losing his balance, fell into Paul Pogba and caught his knee. And play will go on with this free kick. Parejo taking it inside the penalty area and off by his head. Out of play for another Villarreal corner, their second.
Just needed to be a little bit more communication there from Wan-Bissaka and Bailly, because they were 2 against 1 against Moreno, who wasn't really going to win that header. Without the communication, Bailly obviously just skims the header away for a corner.
It's a corner which Danny Parejo will go out to take. A man who's lost 3 Europa League semi-finals with Valencia in his career. Played nearly 400 games for them after a loan spell at Queen's Park Rangers from Real Madrid right at the start of his career. Look the part there as a young man. Now preparing to take this corner on the left flank. Boos and whistles from the United fans at that end of the ground as it comes in. McTominay's done well to head it away. It's out to the edge of the penalty area, and McTominay blocks that one, throwing himself into the line of fire from Pino's shot, which goes over the bar and out for another corner.
It was well struck from Pino. McTominay, brilliant first header, and then doesn't just watch it, gets himself out to block as well. Hands by his side like a salmon, making sure he wasn't going to give away a penalty, and took it full on the shoulder.
Still waiting for the first attempt on target from either team as we approach the midway stage of this first half. On Talk Sport, corner which will be taken on the right flank. And it's Danny Parejo who will come across to take it on corner duty from both flanks. Foyt making a late run inside the penalty area from a long way out, and he was the target, but Bruno Fernandes knocked it away. Back in towards Paul Lopez. The initial header is won by United. The second one not so good. Rashford's clearance goes high up in the air. It doesn't get out of the penalty area. It falls for Bacca. It'll rebound the ball back in from him. And the header goes over the bar. But it was Brilliant, quick, instinctive thinking from the Colombian international. Left-hand side of the penalty area, who reboned across in for Paul Lopez, who couldn't keep his header down.
Well, he's played in finals before. The pressure's not going to get to Carlos Bacca, and that's just absolutely delightful from the Colombian. Just clearly didn't trust his left foot. Lovely Rabona, and then Pau Torres just stretching backwards for the header, couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, wrapped his right foot round the back of his left leg. It was a good delivery. High ball inside the area. At the other end, awkward pass for Cavani. He just trying to work it into Rashford, who was making a run to his right-hand side. It was caught in two minds, really, whether to go for goal or try and find Rashford. And in the end, he did neither effectively. And the ball again ends up in the hands of the Villarreal goalkeeper, Rulli.
Oh, it's a fantastic ball from Mason Greenwood. Honestly, as Rashford strikes for goal right down Rui's throat, catches it nicely, but it was a brilliant ball from Mason Greenwood. It really was, nice and early, so the defence weren't set. Cavani was in. Where was that killer instinct? I'm thinking, here we go, either head it or just volley it first time. It was there to be hit. Tried to play a half volley outside of the foot, flick over the top for Rashford. Strange decision.
Those are the thoughts of Dean Ashton alongside me, Jim Proudfoot, here for the Europa League final on TalkSport. But the Champions League final coming your way as well. Saturday night, Mark Sager's in the chair for that. The build-up is starting at 6 for an 8 o'clock kickoff. The Champions League final this Saturday night on TalkSport. Eric Bailly's in possession. Bailly's got Lindelof to his left. You're listening to Villarreal against Manchester United in the Europa League final live on TalkSport tonight with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now on the Uber Eats or Just Eat app. We deliver. With 24 minutes in, it's 0-0. Paul Pogba has it. A right-footed ball, chipped effortlessly down towards Wan-Bissaka, who controls it, takes a touch, finds Bruno Fernandes. It goes straight back again. Wan-Bissaka trying to drive on. The bearded Albion knocks it away. Wan-Bissaka and Etienne Capoue catching each other in the midfield. The referee just gives them both a disparaging look. The ball gets clattered out of play. Capoue eligible to play tonight, back from the European suspension. He was sent off in the first leg of the game against Arsenal in the semi-finals and missed the second as a result of that, but back involved again today. It's actually one of 2 red cards he's had since he signed from Watford back in January. Wan-Bissaka's got possession. 20 to go to half-time. Neither side have had a shot on target up until the last minute or so with that Rashford low skidder, which was easily saved. Now it goes out towards Luke Shaw. Shaw on the Manchester United left, into the feet of Rashford. Rashford and Lindelof exchange passes. Bruno Fernandes made an early darting run forward, but it had to be played instantly. It wasn't. Rashford then sends a delicious floated ball out towards Wan-Bissaka on the United right, trying to find a way through past Trigueros. Lays it back for McTominay. Now Pogba chipping it in. Too steep a ball towards Bruno Fernandes, who just made sure that there was a collision between him and the goalkeeper, Rulli, there. Rulli caught it cleanly and will be allowed to play on. 26 gone 0 now.
Well, he sort of risk injury by going into a goalkeeper that's always going to have his knees up. I learned that lesson very, very quickly. Goalkeepers protect themselves.
Pogba playing it forward. There was no chance he had a win in the ball there either, Bruno Fernandes, but no harm done to either player. And the main yellow will be able to bring it forward now with Gerard Moreno. He's worked it forward here for Pina. Pina running at Lindelof towards the edge of the area, and De Gea might just have stumbled whilst he was getting set to make the save. I could watch it go harmlessly wide.
Well, it was a lovely calm pass from Gerard Moreno into the feet, outside of the foot, into the feet of Pinos, and he just, I thought, really go and attempt to get past Lindelof. Do something special. A little step over, a little bit of trickery, something to just get past him. He didn't at all. He didn't back himself to take Lindelof on, and in the end, it was a really, really weak attempt.
Only made his debut in October. Jeremy Pino, it is only the 12th start of his senior career tonight. So McTominay wins a free kick. United from that goal kick, determined to play out. They split the 2 centre-halves either side of the goalkeeper. They sent the full-backs right out towards the touchline, just trying to invite the Villarreal press so they could play around it, try and hit on the counter-attack. didn't work effectively. United haven't lost possession. They've still got it with Eric Bailly now. Pogba dropping deep to try and link up the play, but any really constructive passing options. Then it's given away by De Gea to Trigueros. Trigueros turning it forward into the feet of Parejo. And no harm done for United. They've got the shake back behind the ball. Pogba can't get out a sliding ball. He can at the second time of asking. Then Lindelof turns it back for De Gea, who in his bright orange socks takes a touch and works it out towards Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the Manchester United right. But they are absolutely determined to play out here.
Well, they are. And what surprised me is they haven't gone a bit longer earlier, especially when Villarreal come out like they have done and press a little bit higher. Well, that's when you've got your threat of Rashford in behind and Greenwood in behind, and they haven't really done that yet, Manchester United.
And Cavani's just fouled Parejo, and he's being spoken to by the referee. And Cavani protesting his innocence.
Parejo just had a little look in the corner of his eye. He knew Edison Cavani was coming. He waited for the contact, and of course he somersaulted away to his left-hand side.
Back on his feet and able to take this free kick though. United keeping a high line on the edge of the penalty area, swinging with pace and put in by Gerard Moreno. 30th goal of the season and his first blood of Villarreal in the 2021 Europa League final. And it was just a rudimentary set piece, swung into the penalty area. United defending with a high line. Big gap for Villarreal to exploit. 3 runners going into the space, and Moreno touches it home. Villarreal 1, Manchester United 0. And in a season in which United have had enough practice at coming from behind, they're going to have to do it again.
Well, if you're going to drop early, like Manchester United players did in a good line, well, Luke Shaw, I'm sorry, you've lost your man. Gerard Moreno gets away from you. Lindelof doesn't even turn around to see where any of the danger is. It's a brilliant ball from Parejo, who won that free kick. Fed just in behind. David De Gea couldn't quite come for it. Difficult for the defenders facing their own goal. But what a finish, Moreno on the half volley. Just cushioned it. Rather than putting the power on it, just cushioned it over the top of De Gea. What a start for Villarreal.
That's his 7th goal in the competition this season. They've all come in the knockout stages as well. Villarreal 1, Manchester United 0. First goal ever between these two sides at the 5th time of asking. And United find themselves with an hour to try and salvage something. A long way to go. They have been the dominant force, but for all the fact that their possession is in the 60s, Villarreal have had nearly twice as many chances, and they have the lead.
Well, with those free kicks that are wide and deep, you're going to have your defensive line, of course, and you all drop at the same time. But it's no good dropping without spotting a yellow shirt, making sure that you've got the right angle, body angle, making sure that you've got your arm across so you don't let anyone run inside you. And in that sense, it was very, very poor defending.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be reflecting right now on the manner in which the goal was conceded. He'll also be reflecting on a couple of things, 3 things maybe. The only trophy he's ever won as a manager, the Norwegian Cup. His side trailed in that game with 20 minutes to go, and they scored 3 in the final 20 minutes to win. Crowning moment of Ole's career as a player. His side trailed 1-0 with seconds to go, and they scored twice. And this season in the Premier League, the 11 away games they've won away from home in the Premier League this season, they went 1-0 down in 9 of them. So if any side, if any man will feel that this isn't an irretrievable situation, then it is Ole and Manchester United. But nevertheless, you certainly don't want to go 1-0 down to a side who are a very good defensive regimented outfit, but that is the state of play. 32 minutes gone, Villarreal 1, United 0. Rashford trying to work it forward here for Shaw. The bandaged foot will be able to bring it away, and just brings Greenwood into it, and then McTominay's won it back. McTominay, he's done well, and somehow extricating himself from a really tight little corridor there, and he ended up losing possession, having taken 3 players out of the picture to start with. Backer then gives it away. McTominay works it forward here for Edison Cavani. Now wide towards Greenwood. Bruno Fernandes peels out to the right and is in space. United work it back the other way though. Through Greenwood, McTominay, Pogba, and now out towards Shaw. Fernandes still keeping the width on the Manchester United right, but no long diagonal coming his way, so he moves back infield into his more customary position, and he has it now. Chipped over the top. Albiol heads it away. Doesn't quite fall for Greenwood. Parejo waved the right leg at it off balance on the edge of the area to see to that. And Manchester United will bring it forward again with Wan-Bissaka. Lovely reverse ball. Well, the intention of the reverse ball was lovely. The execution wasn't. He's played it behind Greenwood and out of play for a throw. 12 to the break. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer looking extremely animated, furious with the loose passages of play there. So to Edinson Cavani, who's pointing to his temple and just trying to exhort some extra effort out of his side. It's 1-0 to Villarreal.
He's absolutely furious, isn't he, Ollie? That's as animated and as angry I think I've ever seen him on the touchline. And I know why. Because when they're sat deep, Villarreal, to break that down, you need movement. You need runners off the ball. You need runners beyond. You need runners in behind. There's none of that. It's all very stationary. Everybody walking. He wants to see movement to displace that yellow wall.
McTominay. Square through the centre circle. And finding Victor Lindelof. Lindelof into the feet of Paul Pogba, who's one of only two members of this side that started the final 4 years ago. And the other is Marcus Rashford, who shows to the ball now, but Eric Bailly, who was in possessions, worked it to his fellow centre-half Lindelof anyway. And Shaw playing it for Bruno Fernandes, trying to dart in between Gerard Moreno and Juan Foyth. And Capoue will be able to bring it away, looking for the free kick. He's got it though, for a foul by Shaw. And Gerard Moreno, apart from the fact that he took his goal so well, his work off the ball has been so impressive and a big part of what Villarreal have been able to achieve so far tonight.
Yeah, so important, him and Bacca, in terms of coming deep, getting the angles right, working extremely hard to win that ball off the toes of the midfield players. It's clearly something that they've worked on, and at the moment they're just happy for Lindelof and Bailly to have it. They can have as much possession as they like, and they're trying to stop that ball in to the midfield players. So Manchester United, Lindelof, Bailly, you're the ones that's going to have to take that on and try and find that pass over the top for Rashford, over the top for Greenwood, who need much more movement.
He's a crowd of about 9,500 tonight, 2,000 from each club and 5,500 others in attendance at the Stadion Miejski in Gdansk. Certainly the vast majority of the neutrals are supporting Manchester United. And those that have made the journey from the eastern seaboard of Spain are delighted with what they've seen so far. Villarreal leading Manchester United 1-0 on TalkSport. As Pau Lopez knocks it away. Moreno can't hold it up. McTominay wins it back. Now Wan-Bissaka taking a touch. Right-footed ball inside the area. The experienced Albiol comes across and heads it away. And now Wan-Bissaka will come back. A good turn. Just got there ahead of Pedraza, the left back, who'd come out of position to chase him. And now there's space for McTominay down the right, and he couldn't make the most of it because in getting to the right-hand edge of the penalty area with two waiting in the middle, I don't know whether he went for goal, but he's fired a brisk cross, if it was a cross, well over the bar and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, again, he's getting himself up with play and beyond McTominay. But hang on a second, is he not meant to be the most defensive for the midfield players? I'm sure Pogba's the one that's got more licence, go and link up with the play. So if McTominay's driving on beyond, is Paul Pogba doing the job, if that was to break down, of making sure that they're in that space where Villarreal will look to play out?
That is the worry that Manchester United have if possession gets turned over in that kind of area. Greenwood sends it wide here for Rashford. Greenwood's made a good run forward. Cavani's in the penalty area as well. Rashford trying to take on Capoue and deceive him, waving his legs over the top of the ball before delivering a cross that was blocked. And Villarreal smack it upfield, and it goes all the way through for David De Gea. We've got 8 minutes to go to half-time here on TalkSport. And Villarreal leading Manchester United by a goal to nil. There have been 7 Europa League finals before tonight with a Spanish club in them, and the Spanish club has won them all. And Villarreal trying to make that 8 tonight. Shaw gets to the byline and sends over a cross that is comfortably claimed by the goalkeeper Geronimo Rulli, the Argentinian international, who very briefly at one stage of his career was on the books of Manchester City, but didn't play for them. And now finds himself as the second choice goalkeeper at Villarreal, but the man that has been doing the legwork in this European campaign. His long ball forward is brought under control by Victor Lindelof. He goes back for Pogba, back from him to David De Gea. His 441st United appearance tonight. Man who's won this competition in the past with Atletico Madrid. The final against Fulham back in 2010, but it was Sergio Romero who started in goal for United in the final in Stockholm 4 years ago. McTominay's got it. Back from him to Lindelof. 7 to go to half-time. United trailing to that Gerard Moreno goal in the half hour. Cavani made an early darting run, would have been offside by the time Bailly was going to play. He held it up anyway, finds Wan-Bissaka back for Bailly once more. The former Villarreal player going square to Victor Lindelof. Now to Pogba. It's just to see a yellow ahead of them whenever they look up and try and find these little pockets of space to be able to work. There's just Villarreal players all around. Cross comes in, awkward for Wan-Bissaka to control because of the bounce, and he did well to flick it with his right shoulder and just take it away from Trigueros. Gets it back now into his feet. Laid back for Pogba. Pogba to his left for Rashford. They haven't really been able to get into the game as much as they would like. Shaw can find him now, though. Taking on Capoue, getting towards the bar. It's gone out of play, surely for a corner. The officials say no. I thought that there's at least one opportunity or one occasion, maybe two, that the ball had rolled over the line there for a corner, but officials said no. Play goes on. It's Rashford slipping it in for Cavani. Cavani playing it back, and Dani Parejo is just in the right place to very nonchalantly knock it away from the path of the on-rushing Rashford. And Villarreal again will be able to clear their lines. 39 gone, United trailing 1-0, and here's Dean Ashton.
Well, inevitably, if you have that many bodies back defending, and the likelihood is you can get either just a tiny touch on a pass, just to upset things, just to stop the attacks from having any sort of flow to them, and they've done that very, very well, Villarreal. Raul Albiol has been absolutely outstanding, like a magnet to the ball every time it's come into the box. He's headed it away, he's volleyed it away, and they're starting to show signs of frustration, Manchester United, and especially the forward players. They make one, like just Rashford a second ago, made one nice run, should have been played in, wasn't. Rather than then spinning and making another run, shrugged his shoulders, walked away.
And as a result, Manchester United not really bringing the best out of each other at the moment, certainly in the last 10 minutes since they went 1-0 down. Foyt plays it forward from right back. Quality control at the back though by Lindelof. And now Pogba has it. Pogba puts his right foot underneath it, sends an intelligent ball forward. United pick up the seconds, if not the first, which was intended for Greenwood. Cavani finds Bruno Fernandes. That's good defending. And he doesn't like the decision of Bruno Fernandes, but Pedraza clearly played it back into the Portuguese, and the award of a goal kick rather than a corner is undoubtedly the correct decision. 4 to go to half-time, and Manchester United trail it 1-0.
Brilliant from Pedraza defensively there. The one superpower that Bruno Fernandes doesn't have is pace. He was really struggling to get across and win that battle with Pedraza, and in the end he didn't.
He's another player who had experience playing in English football very briefly. Pedraza, he was at Leeds as a winger, didn't really make a huge impression there, but since being converted to left back by Emery, he has become an integral member of this Villarreal side. Has now played nearly 100 games for them. Manchester United with Wan-Bissaka in the right back position, midway inside his own half, lays it back for Eric Bailly. Bailly turning it forward to Paul Pogba. Your chance to react to this Europa League final on TalkSport with the Sports Bar. Andy and Jason taking your calls right at the conclusion of the game, be it after 90 minutes or extra time or maybe penalties. This could be a long night. Wan-Bissaka back for McTominay. United trying to find a way back into the game. Lindelof. Bruno Fernandes. Lindelof. To So Eric Bailly, the deepest of the outfield United players, is inside the Villarreal half of the centre circle, controlling it and playing it to his left. Now Paul Pogba has it. Pogba in a central position, played forward into the feet of Rashford. Lindelof for Pogba. Pogba working back for Eric Bailly. Bailly for Scott McTominay. McTominay to Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka into the feet of Mason Greenwood, and then back for Bailly again. So United stringing the passes together here, no problem, but they're not going anywhere with it, and that is the frustration against this well-organised and regimented defensive unit, who get the angles and the distances between the lines absolutely spot on, and it's a source of frustration for Manchester United. Shaw, Cavani making a darting runs, trying to pull defenders out of position. United work it briskly from left to right. Now Wan-Bissaka has it coming in off the touchline. They continue to build, edging their way towards the edge of the area. Wan-Bissaka, ball back behind Greenwood, who did well to bring it back under control. It's tracked back in by Trigueros. Pogba's lost possession, and now they might be able to bring it away. Gerard Moreno working wide towards the right-hand side for the brisk Pinho. Nothing in the way of support for him. He's got 5 United players between him and goal. He's still trying to make his way through, and it's a goal kick. He thought he'd won a corner there, which would have been the best he could possibly have hoped for. But a goal kick to David De Gea has been given as we go into the final minute of the first half, with Villarreal leading 1-0.
And as Manchester United push and probe and gamble, that's when maybe spaces might open up for the counter-attack. Pinho stopped by Luke Shaw, and he's right. It was definitely a corner for Villarreal.
Well, it wasn't just the last touch that came off Luke Shaw. The last 2 touches came off him because he flicked it with his left boot into his hand. There's no way a free kick or a penalty could have been given for it, but it certainly should have been a corner. Here's Greenwood. Greenwood making his way forward now. Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. Cross on the run. Bruno Fernandes stretches into the area, trying to turn it into a decent second ball. Couldn't do so. Parejo and Gerard Moreno, and then Trigueros can knock it away. And McTominay lets the ball bounce into the feet of Eric Bailly.
It's one of those performances, though, this first half. We've seen it many times this season from Manchester United. A frustrated-looking forward line. Good work from Rashford, though, working back.
Yeah, winning it back as well. Finding Wan-Bissaka straight back for Marcus Rashford. Rashford's beat this man. Rashford flicking it inside the 6-yard box. Pau Lopez did well. Capoue did the rest. And then it'll be cleared by Pedraza from left back just towards halfway. So we're going into stoppage time, and maybe somewhat surprisingly only 2 extra minutes to be added. Foyt's treatment lasted longer than that on its own, but there's only 2 additional minutes at the end of this first half. It's a great point you make about the performances, particularly early in the season, where United often took them so long to get going. Here's Greenwood now, fizzing it in, and it hit Albiol's thigh, and his goalkeeper dived to his left-hand side to catch it and stop an own goal.
Well, that was just sheer pace from Mason Greenwood. There was no trickery. He just pushed it and went past Pedraza, and he was too quick for him. And he just fired it across the 6-yard line, hoping for a touch from either Edinson Cavani or one of the defenders, as Pau Torres was close to getting a touch, and then it just cushioned off the inner thigh of Albiol and into the arms of Rulli.
Yes, the most innermost part of the inner thigh, I would suggest, as he has tears in his eyes as he walks away. But play will continue, and we're in the second of the 2 additional minutes. Villarreal 1, Manchester United 0, and the game taking place in northern Poland tonight in Gdansk. Ball bounced down 2-3 times inside the penalty area by Rulli, who then smokes it forward. And Trigueros, the left winger, will be able to pick it up. So left winger, inside left, he plays pretty much rather than holding the width, and allows Pedraza to make his way forward from left back. Play forward towards Gerard Moreno, who's been here, there and everywhere so far, and he wins a corner off Bailly right at the end of the half.
Yeah, you could see he would much rather have run that corner there than even look to have played back. I think clearly they see a weakness at set plays for Manchester United. Obviously scored from one. With not having much possession and just counter-attacking, it is going to be these situations that they could threaten from.
Danny Parejo swinging the corner in, should be De Gea's. McTominay headed away right in front of him, and that's the last action of the first half, in which Manchester United have given a listless display. Possession easy to come by, goal scoring opportunity certainly not. Only one shot on target. The good news as far as they're concerned, Villarreal have only had one at the other end. The bad news is they scored from it. Gerard Moreno's 30th of the season is the difference between the two teams. Half-time in Gdansk, Villarreal 1, Manchester United 0 on TalkSport. Hugh, thank you. And there are no changes in personnel for either team ahead of the second period. Villarreal in all yellow, kicking from left to right. And Manchester United, red shirts, black shorts, defending the end away to the right-hand side as Dean Ashton and myself look at the pictures from our studio monitors here in London. Ball is out of play for a throw, which is going to be taken by Juan Foyt, playing a right back for Villarreal. Rulli in goal for them. Albiol and Pau Torres at centre-half, Pedraza at left-back, Capu and Parejo in midfield, Trigueros on the left, Pinho on the right, and Gerard Moreno has been excellent alongside Bacca up front. Manchester United in possession with David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Bailly, Lindelof and Shaw, McTominay and Pogba, Greenwood, Fernandes, Rashford and Cavani. Manchester United bench, incidentally. Maguire, maybe. He's there. I don't think he's fit. Mata, Fred, Ahmad, James, Tejes, Matic, Williams, Van der Beek, Tuanzebe and the two keepers, Henderson and Grant. Victor Lindelof's got it in his blue boots. He's played it down towards Marcus Rashford. And an early sign that Manchester United are doing, Dean, what you advocated at half-time. We were just chatting off air, trying to get the full-backs 10 yards further forward, particularly Shaw. So it's such a wonderful range of passing and can deliver a mean cross from the left-hand side. Of course, in doing that, there's always the inevitability of spacing behind him, and that's what Villarreal are trying to exploit now, with Pinho, who's keeping a high position on the right-hand side. They're trying to find space. Play stops now because of a challenge from Paul Pot from Pogba or by the camera cut away. I think it is Pogba who made the challenge. Carlos Bacca is the player that is down. It was his right boot that was caught. It was by, I beg your pardon, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Villarreal. The referee gave himself a little bit of thinking time, but Eric Bailly is spoken to, but no yellow card.
And there'll be plenty of that in this second half as the game wears on. Is free kicks, looking to win free kicks, frustrate Manchester United, who incidentally haven't made a tactical change as yet. It's the same as it was in that first half.
Trigueros angling a high ball inside the penalty area, which breaks for Pedraza. Oh, missed kick inside the 6-yard box. United trying to smuggle it away, can just about do it with Bailly. That was a nervy moment. They couldn't block the initial cross that came in. Moreno couldn't quite react quickly enough, and nor could Bacca. Bacca comes from Parejo, clipped in by Etienne Capoue, trying to stand it up for Carlos Bacca's run. Bruno Fernandes will be able to bring it away. It's a good ball out from him as well. McTominay trying to nutmeg Trigueros. Didn't quite come off for him, but United maintained possession, and then Greenwood sends a long diagonal ball forward, but there's no chance anyone was going to get on the end of that, except for the Villarreal goalkeeper, Rulli. And there's been no discernible change to the pattern of play in the first 3 minutes of the second period on TalkSport, with United trailing 1-0.
And that's a massive let-off from Eric Bailly. Rather than just trying to side foot that clearance away, he looks to absolutely swipe at it. Completely misses it, and Bacca is just taken by surprise as it falls at his feet, and he couldn't get it from under his feet to get a strike away. They were very, very fortunate there, Manchester United and Eric Bailly.
Fortunately, he didn't make any contact with it at all, because you just think back to that Reguilon own goal the other day. He really tried to almost hammer the maker's name off the ball. He's trying to kick it so hard, and any kind of contact, get it, just slightly mistime it, and then he could batter it back into his own net past David De Gea. As it was, United were able to get it away. 4 gone second half. It is 1-0 to Villarreal, as it has been now for the thick end of 20 minutes. And the ball is back with Eric Bailly. You're listening to Villarreal against Manchester United in the Europa League final. It's live on TalkSport with Music Magpie, the place to get great value, certified refurbished phones and tech. Rashford to Pogba, McTominay letting it run. Greenwood just caught on his heels. Villarreal lose possession straight away though, with Fernandes picking it up, finding McTominay, tall, very upright running style, the blonde-haired Lancastrian-born Scotsman, goes out of play for a throw, which Wan-Bissaka takes on the occasion of his 100th United game today. Started all 15 European ties this season now with Wan-Bissaka. Lindelof finding Paul Pogba here. Pogba hoping to win this competition for the second time. Bruno Fernandes out towards the right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka, Cavani making a darting run near post. Paul Lopez knocks it away. And then Gerard Moreno can get it further clear. Plays it forward. It hits the heel of Carlos Bacca, but he is able to run round it and pick up possession. And then Trigueros, who possibly has been quieter than most of his teammates, has lost out just for a moment. Parejo comes back, wins it back, and very cleverly uses his experience and his body again. Gets in between Cavani and the ball, stopped. Contact was inevitable, goes to the ground, wins the free kick.
Yeah, just about got his foot in the way of Cavani's shin to go down for the free kick. Cavani, as always, working extremely hard to close down and win the ball back, but as in the first half, 4-4-2, very rigid defensively, very, very difficult, almost like a triangle without a point on the end. Villarreal's defensive shape.
United just can't break it down. They can't find the passing avenues to work angles effectively. The eyes of the needle that they're trying to slip the ball through are almost infinitesimally small. Rashford, back for Lindelof. Now to Paul Pogba in his white boots. New haircut for the event. Back towards the edge of the penalty area. Turns back out again, finds Bai. United now trying to stretch it, work it wide for Wan-Bissaka. Greenwood finds a yard of space. Bruno Fernandes back in towards Greenwood. Greenwood trying to take it on inside the penalty area. He's gone down. There's been a collision between two players. Again, the French referee completely ambivalent towards the events inside the penalty area. Pedraza went down. Greenwood's gone down as well. Greenwood with a yelp of pain. He's just trying to take it on as Pedraza gets it away left-footed. He got it clear, and contact between the pair was made just a fraction of a second later after Pedraza had cleared his lines. United appeals for a penalty fall on deaf ears. There is VAR tonight, of course. Francois Letechier, another Frenchman, is the man who's looking at the pictures remotely, but no case to answer in the eyes of the officials for Pedraza. Now play's going to restart here with the Villarreal ball. 7 gone second half, 1-0.
No difference in the pattern of play from either side so far. Penalty check waved away, rightly so. It was Greenwood actually who made the foul.
Here's Bruno Fernandes, right hand side of the penalty area, and that by his standards is a very disappointing cross. He's just sent it swirling straight behind the Villarreal goal, and out for a goal kick.
I think as a forward playing against a defence like this, it's so easy to get bored because you keep making a run and it doesn't come off, and it goes sideways and backwards, and you make another run, and then you end up walking at maybe the important moment when you need to run. You just have to trust that if you make enough runs that you'll be found and that you'll get the space. But at the moment, a lot of Manchester United forwards are starting to look bored.
Etienne Capoue is going to be the first player booked in the final. He's called Bruno Fernandes. And Capoue picks up his 11th yellow card of the season to go along with the 2 reds. And it's a free kick to Manchester United, a not dissimilar position from that Villarreal scored. And they floated a long ball forward to the edge of the penalty area and in behind the high-lying back line. Will Manchester United be able to mastermind something similar here? It's maybe just a fraction further out, actually. Fernandes and Shaw, the 2 players standing over it. Odds on it's going to be a right-footed in-swinger from Bruno Fernandes. McTominay and Pogba just start a little bit deeper. It is actually Shaw that takes it. Swung in deep. Pogba heading it down. McTominay trying to get his shot in on the turn. Pedraza stopped that happening. McTominay still got it, then gets the shot in. And it deflects away off Paul Lopez and goes over the bar for a corner, which is only United's second, and a little bit of animation, something a little bit different in the Villarreal penalty area.
Well, it was a little bit like Mark Hughes back in the day, backing in, taking on his chest, swivelling, shooting.
Now McTominay making a darting running towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Albiol heads the corner away. Rashford through a crowd. Breaks for Cavani. And it is 1-1. Manchester United back in the game. Inevitably, it is Edinson Cavani with the breakthrough.
You've got to be there to score them. Of course, there's a huge amount of luck in this because Marcus Rashford volleys this from the edge of the box. It ricochets twice. And when you looks in as a forward. If you keep getting in there, keep following in, eventually they fall for you. And it has for Edinson Cavani. And he wasn't going to miss. It was right there on a plate. The goalkeeper had dived for Rashford's shot. So Cavani just slid it in, grabbed the ball out of the net and just gone sprinting back, knowing this game's on.
Rashford with the initial effort. The diving Pedraza blocked it. It hit McTominay, comes back to Cavani. It's going to be really close, you know, for offside because it hits McTominay. It doesn't hit McTominay, and it goes back into Cavani's pass straight from Pedraza. No doubt it's a goal. This might yet be chalked off. We've only seen one angle of it. It looks really close. We haven't seen the definitive cross-field angle that will let us know whether he is on or not, whether the 3D lines need to come on, whether it is that close. I fear this could get disallowed, unfortunately.
Well, obviously slightly different, isn't it? In European football, you don't really tend to see the pictures of the lines being drawn and calculated. You just picture of the referee waiting for the decision,
which is deeply frustrating because you would be able to have at least some insight as to whether he's onside or not. No, it stands. It's 1-1.
Massive for Manchester United. And Edinson Cavani, he's made a career out of that, anticipating.
His 17th goal for Manchester United. 6 in his last 4 Europa League ties. And now United with their tails up, having trailed for 26 minutes, are on the front foot with increased gusto. Fernandes plays it forward. Wan-Bissaka hooks his right foot underneath it from the byline. Shaw's coming in, diverts a header down. Then McTominay misses his kick. Fernandes rifles it towards goal. He's put it wide, and Cavani sliding in couldn't divert it past the goalkeeper who was committed. But it's 1-1 between Villarreal and Manchester United.
Quite incredible how the atmosphere's changed in the stadium and the levels of intensity for Manchester United. Excellent from Fernandes, driving it low again. If it's not going to be on target, get it across so that maybe Cavani can get a touch, and he is inches away as he slides in, trying to get a toe on it.
367th goal of Edinson Cavani's career, and is it one? It will be the foundation to silverware for Manchester United. Rashford's lost out to Foyt here with the white crepe bandage still around his forehead. McTominay tries to bring it away. Foyt has blocked him off. Loose ball breaks down to the Villarreal right for Gerard Moreno. Back into Capoue. Capoue right in the challenge of Bruno Fernandes. Able to play it forward. Slip down the line for Capoue from Pinho, and then McTominay comes across the block in. McTominay then just gets involved in the challenge of Forrester legs. Between the two, legs wrapped around each other for a moment, but McTominay could bring it away. Pau Lopez now. Villarreal showing much more as an attacking force, because as soon as they took the lead just before the half-hour mark, they were more than happy, as Dean explained so well, just to be able to keep bodies back with this low block and frustrate Manchester United. Now they have to show a little bit more attacking endeavour and show what they've got. It is 1-1 with TalkSport. Villarreal against Manchester United, all square again in the 2021 Europa League final. United, remember, in the Premier League this season, taken 31 points from losing positions, way more than any other team. And again, resilience and resolve that may well stand them in good stead tonight. All they've got now is back to a starting point and parity. Just over half an hour of normal time remains as Unai Emery, in his big thick jacket, snarling, walks up and down, patrolling the edge of the technical area, like a man impatiently waiting for a bus that is never going to turn up. They're going to make a change, and Baka, a striker, is coming off, and Coquelin, defensive midfielder, comes on to replace him.
Interesting change from Unai Emery. I just wonder whether Etienne Capoue will push a little bit further forwards in support of Moreno and have an extra body in midfield in Coquelin.
And that's almost a playing for penalties parking the bus change, isn't it? With an hour gone and potentially still an hour's worth of playing time to go. Pogba plays it forward. I think that is a change that is a sign of encouragement for Manchester United. Be interesting to see exactly how they shuffle things around, though, because with Villarreal in possession, Coquelin actually at the moment is playing as the most advanced of the three in central midfield, which is not a role that you would naturally envisage him playing in. He's a man that in his career has scored 3 goals in 335 appearances.
No, I think he's been brought on more for work rate. I think Bacca started to slow, obviously 34 now, not particularly known, certainly his latter years, for that energy of closing down, and they need that energy in midfield to not allow Manchester United to get a real grip on the game.
So Coquelin, as we mentioned, playing almost in a three-quarter position. Gerard Moreno has drifted out towards the right-hand side. Playing with Pino moving up through the middle at the moment. It's Manchester United bring it away. Greenwood takes it towards the edge of the Villarreal box. Still yellow shirts all around him. 61 played. It's 1-1 on TalkSport with Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton talking you through the action. Here's Lindelof. Manchester United have had 4 attempts without reply in the second half. Shaw's ball in. It just ricochets off Foyt way high up in the air. Headed then forward as it comes down to Shaw. She's headed it forward straight to Rashford, who knew that he was going to be offside. Still haven't seen a conclusive replay of the Edison Cavani goal to know how close the offside call was. I can't help thinking it must have been extremely close. I did anticipate that just the length of time that it took, that those inevitably, history now tells you, just seemed to go against the attacking side, but this one didn't, and Cavani's goal counts. It is 1-1, and United the better side in the 7 minutes since finding parity. But Villarreal have it. We're back to Capoue's the only man booked so far. Parejo turning it forward now towards Pedraza. Good sliding challenge from Wan-Bissaka. He does that so well. How to play for a throw.
He loves it, that's why. He absolutely loves a slide tackle, Wan-Bissaka, and he's so good at it. He's so good at timing it. Gets a touch, and he's a little bit unlucky actually. It definitely comes off Pedraza.
Yep, should have been a Manchester United throw. It has been given the other way. Pedraza with the ball in his hand. Throws it forward now. Tomley trying to bring it away. He was caught by Trigueros. He's possibly been the one Villarreal player that maybe hasn't quite done himself justice tonight. He's seen little of the ball offensively. United working forward really quickly, trying to get Rashford isolated against Albiol, the slowest and oldest of the Villarreal back line, but really read the situation well. The goalkeeper out of his penalty area to deal with the threat.
Interesting though, Edison Cavani just turning around to the rest of his players and saying we need to push up. You know, he can sense there's been a real change in this game, and now is the time to really squeeze Villarreal back towards their own goal.
In the second half, possession has actually been much more even than it was in the first. But Villarreal haven't had a single shot. United have had 4, 1 on target, which was the one that went in. Here's Rashford, slowing things down to walking pace and then trying to speed up very quickly to take on Foyt. Villarreal can bring it away. Get it towards halfway for Pino. Crossfield ball from him. Bruno Fernandes wins the seconds as Greenwood had trapped back with Pedraza. Bruno with a little step over, a piece of skill, didn't quite come off as he wanted, but he still was able to get the ball in. Then it hits Pau Lopez on the arm as the cross comes in. Appeals for a penalty waved away. The game beginning to get a little bit more stretched for the first time. Gerard Moreno. Shaw engages with him immediately. Cavani then wins it. Cavani plays it off to Pogba and then leans into the referee's face, saying that they should have had a decision earlier on. I don't know whether he's talking about the penalty or not. They're still going at it, referee and Cavani. Play goes on. Play forward by Greenwood. This is so much better from United. And towards Wan-Bissaka. Right-footed ball in from him. Knocked away by Albiol as it just drifted over the head of Capoue. Comes down for Luke Shaw. Shaw to Rashford. Rashford on the edge of the penalty area, pulling it back for Luke Shaw again. Shaw goes back behind square for Lindelof. Lindelof edging it to his right for Scott McTominay. You can hear the Manchester United fans urging their side to attack. Lindelof to Pogba in a central position. Still, as he picks it up 20 yards outside the Villarreal penalty area, he's got 11 of the opposition between him and goal. Rashford, space is beginning to be found more readily for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes clever little reverse ball for Shaw, tried to take on Foyt and couldn't beat him. He looks a much improved player, Juan Foyt, actually, for a season of regular starts in La Liga. Here's Bruno Fernandes back for Shaw again. Shaw's ball inside the area. Greenwood trying to take on Albiol. The angle was tight. He's come back out the other way. Pogba trying to turn, sets it up. McTominay on the stretch with a shot. That hit Trigueros and ricochets way outside the area for Lindelof. Now Bailly with the ball forward and just too much on it for Shaw. And it goes out of play. Past an applauding Fred, who's been sent out to warm up. Have another look at the penalty claim. He couldn't give a penalty against Pau Lopez for that, as he's moved his arm right across in front of his body. He's not trying to make the body an unnatural shape or gain an advantage with his position, and the officials got that one right. But Manchester United on top now more than at any other stage of the game.
Yeah, and they've definitely pushed the fullbacks higher. Luke Shaw's much more involved. Wan-Bissaka as well on the same side at the same time is nice and high, and that was clearly the way to get. If you can't go through the middle of a defence, then you have to go out down the sides and try and pull them out of position, and then switch it nice and quickly, and that's how you can get round a tightly packed defence.
You're listening to Villarreal against Manchester United in the Europa League final. It's live on TalkSport with McDonald's McDelivery. Order McDelivery now and get McDonald's delivered straight to your doorstep. Another opportunity as Capoue fouls Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes controlling it with his right foot, trying to turn and pirouette away from Capoue. The contact was minimal, but free kick given. Of course, the turn was too good for Etienne Capoue, who is the only player on a yellow card. But Manchester United with the free kick in a good position here, left-hand side of the area.
It was, but there was no contact. His right leg just spasmed in and out without actually being touched. Bruno Fernandes, but pretty similar to Parejo in the first half.
7 on the edge of the penalty area. Shaw swings it in, head of the way. A back out towards Mason Greenwood. First touch too heavy. Pau Lopez clears his line.
They persist with Luke Shaw's left-footed out-swinging cross from wide areas. I really don't like that. I think as a forward, the ball that's played in towards goal, so much easier to get across, and all you need is just a tiny touch.
As we saw for the Villarreal goal, it came from an in-swinging delivery from Dani Parejo. Here's Bruno Fernandes now, level the edge of the Villarreal penalty area, exactly midway through the second half. And that is the right-footed in-swinging delivery that we'd like to see from those set pieces. The only problem was that from open play, hit too hard and drifts over everybody's head. Must be a cold night in Gdansk. Emery's had his coat on all night. Solskjaer's put his Mac on now over his smart check suit. It's over 20 minutes remaining. Foyt has it. Played down the right-hand touchline, and Lindelof engaging has fouled his man. And Gerard Moreno going down. Lindelof hated the decision.
Yeah, Lindelof just trying to force the issue he doesn't really need to, and gives away a free kick, and it's just sort of Villarreal, and maybe that substitution with Coquelin coming on has just taken the sting out of what was a head of steam for Manchester United, and they've started to have a little bit more possession.
Here's the goalkeeper, Rulli, chipping it out to the left-hand touchline. It's worked down the line by turning it back forward. Now Cavani. And Bruno Fernandes is in, and it's Rashford! He's put it wide! What a chance! Everybody expecting an offside flag to come. It's a great ball for Bruno Fernandes. Made the run of Pau Torres down the right-hand side. And then Rashford galloping into the middle. And he was 9 yards out. Goalkeeper coming out, making himself as big as possible. Rashford, with a deft touch, took the pace off it. But it's rolled agonisingly wide of the far post.
Wow, what a miss. What a miss from Marcus Rashford. That ball across from Fernandes was just delicious, delightful for him just to tap in.
Now the other end. It's Pinho with a layoff towards the edge of the area for Coquelin. Coquelin to Foyt. Coquelin continuing his run forward. All of a sudden, as Foyt looks up, he's got 5 targets to try and pick out. Laid off towards the edge of the area instead. Parejo with an innocuous daisy cutter that goes well wide. And it's out of play for a goal kick. 20 to go of normal time. It's 1-1.
I mean, Marcus Rashford, that will give him nightmares, honestly. The ball's come across. The one thing I would say is, though, that Rulli does really, really well, because he springs out really quickly, and it means that Marcus Rashford has to make a decision all of a sudden. Does he just try and lift it over the top, or does he try and reverse it into the opposite corner? He actually goes to side foot it in the near post, which was difficult, and he ends up hitting it with the bottom of his studs rather than the side of his foot. Just a lack of concentration at a vital moment.
For what would have been his 100th career goal for club and country. Had he got it in, here's Shaw. Shaw, good check back inside. Luke Shaw. Oh, Cavani with a header from point-blank range. And it hit Pau Torres in front of the goalkeeper. And Villarreal survived. Great approach play from Shaw. Thrashed the cross in. Cavani did well to react. Here's Greenwood now. Greenwood trying to get it in. I thought he won the corner off Pedraza, so did he. But a goal kick has been given. 18 minutes to go. We see another replay of the previous incident. Shaw with a great check onto his right foot, and then just clipped it in. A rifle at Cavani, powering the header down. And Torres right in front of his goalkeeper, got his head to it to divert it to safety.
Well, Shaw's trying to have a shot. He's trying to curl this with the laces right into that far corner, and he just gets it totally wrong, and it fires off at a 45-degree angle. But this is where Edinson Cavani is one of the best, because he's anticipating it. He's still waiting that something as daft as that might happen, and he's alive to it, and he heads it, and it just bounces off the defender's header, or else that would have been such a good, clever finish.
Greenwood finding Pogba. It's all Manchester United now. Villarreal not quite in the domain of hanging on, but not too far short of it. Wan-Bissaka gets to the byline, right-footed ball chipped in by him. Albiol can head that one away. Then well brought down again by Greenwood. Greenwood right-hand side of the box, and still hasn't won a corner because Rulli, with very sharp hands, anticipating a deflection, did well to come out and throw himself along the dead ball line and stop it going out of play for a corner. That's good goalkeeping there.
Yeah. But they've got to maintain this pressure at Manchester United. Villarreal look like they haven't really got any sort of a threat going forward. So can they keep this pressure on Villarreal?
Villarreal coming into this on the back of only 2 wins in the last 5 games, but only 5 defeats in 18. United, for their part, only 6 defeats in 42 games in all competitions. Only 6 in the last 52 in the league, all of which have been at Old Trafford. One of those defeats in the run of 6 in 42 in all competitions came in that second leg in Rome, where they were 6-2 up from the first leg, lost 3-2. Then had 2 more late season, one against Leicester where they changed the side around completely. And one against Liverpool as well. It's Fernandes. Fall from Fernandes to Greenwood. The first time in the game, Manchester United are in a position now where they can turn the screw. McTominay bringing the ball forward for Wan-Bissaka. Bruno Fernandes had made an early run forward. Wan-Bissaka elected to play it back for McTominay instead. Pogba. Poor boy, I was about to call him the epitome of calm in the midfield, maybe a little bit too languid, and he just sprayed it behind Shaw. His manager sitting back down, just camera pans to him, just puts his hands out in a calming gesture to Paul Pogba. Don't panic. Things going our way now. 16 to go. And it's 1-1 on TalkSport. Pogba playing it forward. Over the top from Marcus Rashford. Got the Champions League final coming up for you on Saturday. City against Chelsea. Kicks off at 8, live right here on TalkSport. As the ball is played down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Wan-Bissaka again covering the ground as he flicked it into Pedraza and out of play for a goal kick. He hasn't. Corner given. Just Villarreal's first of the second half.
Yeah, he's been probably their best threat, hasn't he? Pedraza down this left-hand side, getting forward at every opportunity. He's that one outlet for Villarreal. Wan-Bissaka again, excellent defensive work. Pedraza just sliding in first to make sure the touch came off Wan-Bissaka's shin.
So United defending this zonally with 6 inside the 6-yard box as the youngster Pino goes across to take it. It's worked short and then played towards the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Left-footed ball swung in from a completely different angle than United were expecting. Pogba heads it away. Right-footed effort then comes back in from Trigueros. Takes a deflection, goes out of play for another corner. This one in front of the Villarreal supporters will be taken on the right flank rather than the left. It's 1-1.
Concentration needed from set plays for Manchester United. You've got yourself level. Do not give away a sloppy goal from a set play.
Going to bring another striker on shortly. Villarreal, Paco Alcácer is the man who's waiting. A player who has scored 6 goals in this competition this season, amongst the 12 that he's netted for the campaign, former Dortmund man. Yeremy Pino across to take the corner. Parejo ready for the short one. Taken in behind Parejo to find Foyt. 2 from down by the corner flag, both sprint to get back into onside positions. Chipped over the top by Trigueros. Foyt trying to come round the back. Bruno Fernandes just stopped him getting him jumped towards the ball, and it drifts innocuously out of play for a goal kick, which will allow Villarreal the opportunity to make the change. And it is Pino, the 18-year-old, who's going to come off, and Paco Alcácer is the man who's going to come on. Spanish international, just 3 goals in his last 27 games in all competitions after a really good start of the campaign. Had 9 in 11 at one stage, but 12 in 38 now. And Alcácer on for Pino. And Pino has been playing predominantly out on the right flank. And they're going to make a double change. In fact, Trigueros is making way as well. And Moi Gomez is going to replace him, a left winger who's in his second spell with the club. He's never scored a cup goal, either domestically or in Europe. Slightly more attack-minded, conventional winger than the man he's replaced, but Emery tends to always favour a man high up on the right flank and tucked inside on the left, so it'll be interesting to see whether Gomez tries to play the same kind of manner as the man that he's replaced. 13 to go, it's 1-1.
Well, it's just whether, obviously, Moreno can come across to the right-hand side, or whether they just keep to that 4-4-2 shape defensively, and Alcácer goes up alongside Moreno.
It's out of play for Manchester United throw. Taken by Shaw. Pogba just flinched as it went back to Shaw again, and he's smacked it forward left-footed. It cleared Pogba easily in the end. Moi Gomez will be able to pick it up on the far side of the pitch for Villarreal. We're back to the goalkeeper, Rulli. Rulli slices it away. Manchester United's last 3 seasons have all brought European elimination by Spanish opposition. Is this going to be an exception? Rashford playing it forward. Albiol can knock it away towards halfway where Lindelof climbs high. Shaw can bring it down. Shaw's done well and commits Parejo and then finds McTominay, and Scott McTominay will take it on and then offers himself for the return ball from Greenwood. Greenwood looking for Cavani, and it's headed away back out as far as Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka finding McTominay. McTominay right hand side of the penalty area, rides the challenge in Capoue, gets to the byline in towards Edinson Cavani. The angle is too tight for him, and it goes out of play for a corner to Manchester United.
Edinson Cavani, whenever that ball goes down towards the byline, his run, he aims for the 6-yard line where it meets the touchline. He just aims for that so he gets across the near post to make sure that he's that first man across the defender. It's so unselfish.
Corner to Manchester United, 1:11 to go. Shaw taking it short. It's Greenwood, clipped in. Eric Bailly just beaten in the air, headed away by Foyt. Pogba turns it back for Rashford, straight back to Pogba again. The World Cup winner with a clever touch finding McTominay. Pogba continues his run forward. Foyt's there first. Pogba's dispossessed him inside the area, pulls it back for Rashford. Sliding change from Parejo, knocks it away. Shaw works it back in, finds McTominay, then to Rashford. Shaw's ball in and really makes a diving catch on the edge of the 6-yard box.
But Cavani's the only one in there. He's on his own making them runs. Where's Greenwood stealing in from the back post? Where's a midfield player striding in to the box to help Cavani out?
Villarreal turning in the midfield have given the free kick away. Paco Alcácer is heavily tattooed arms, not happy with the challenge on Eric Bailly. The referee wasn't happy with it either. You could easily see why Alcácer felt there was a case to answer, because he felt he was fouled. The referee decided he was the aggressor. It is a Manchester United free kick. Lindelof playing it forward. Handed away after an awkward bounce by Foyt. Back from Pogba. Cavani, 10 outside the penalty area, driving forward, taking on his man, laying it off for Marcus Rashford. It opens up for Rashford, and he's pulled it wide of the near post and out of play for a goal kick, and we are 9 minutes plus stoppage time away from extra time.
That's his favourite move. Marcus Rashford, jink inside, tries the right foot. He always looks to try and knuckleball it, get that ball dipping and swerving in towards the goal, but this time he really does pull it wide.
João Moreno on 30, Cavani on 55, 1-1 between Villarreal and Manchester United on TalkSport. Unai Emery just speaking to his assistant Kiki Alvarez about what they can do to try and change things around in the face of this Manchester United pressure. Rashford couldn't beat Albiol, having beaten Foyt, and it goes out of play for a throw. A reminder that at the conclusion of this game, your chance to react on national radio, 08717 22 33 44. It's the number that gets you through to the sports bar, where Andy and Jason will be taking your calls here on TalkSport tonight, and more reaction on the Sports Breakfast, the award-winning Sports Breakfast. More awards today, details of which follow tomorrow morning, and that's coming your way on TalkSport tomorrow. And the ball is played forward here by Villarreal, and a yellow card is shown to Eric Bailly for a clumsy challenge.
Yeah, you just can't do this anymore, Eric Bailly. He gets his body and his arm right across nice and early against Alcácer, and you can't do that. He does strike him in the face, but because he does the move so early, which he used to be able to do, he's given away a free kick and got himself a yellow card.
So it's a free kick that Danny Parejo will stand over, and Manchester United already have first-hand experience of how dangerous this kind of situation can be. United will keep the high line. The deepest of them, McTominay, the deepest of the 8 in a line on the edge of the penalty area, stands with the heel of his boot on the D. Right-footed ball swung in, and David De Gea comes up, patrols the space very effectively that time, comes out and makes the catch, and then throws it over the head of Alcácer. He's been quite heavily involved since coming on, and Manchester United will be able to bring it away. Bruno Fernandes back from Pogba in the midfield. 7 to go at 1-1. Shaw taking on Coquelin, passes it off for Rashford. Shaw's continued his run for Cavani, making a darting near post run, and he and Greenwood attack the same ball, but Shaw was fouled in getting the cross in, and it's a free kick to Manchester United outside the penalty area.
Cool, if looks could kill. Edison Cavani's look at Mason Greenwood then, because he just came right across his chance as he went to flash it across with his left foot. Edison Cavani. Greenwood made the same run. He should have seen that, because Greenwood is definitely deeper than Cavani, and he can see Cavani's movement, so he needs to go towards the back post. He doesn't. He goes into the same spot and they put each other off, and that was a terrible challenge, wasn't it, on Luke Shaw as he attempted to make the cross.
Yeah, it's a yellow card for Foyt for it, only now shown. So he's the third player in the book. There was a real missed opportunity because you would have counted the referee just waiting to see if there was any advantage from the cross, which was still forthcoming. Foyt's challenge so late that Shaw had been able to get the ball in. But when there was no advantage inside the penalty area, the referee has pulled it back for this free kick. Shaw's okay. Just potted away from the scene of the foul on him for a moment. He's been in vehement but quiet discussion with Bruno Fernandes, hands over mouths, whispering about the tactics from here. Invariably, when they both stood over a free kick tonight, it has been Shaw that's taken it, as Dean's been saying, but will it be the bearded Portuguese now? Bruno Fernandes takes 2 or 3 steps back, yellow captain's armband around his left arm, 2 in the wall. Bruno Fernandes has certainly got the capability of being able to whip this over the wall and into the near post area. There's an inviting gap for him to try and hit. He's just daintily clipped it in instead. McTominay going up for it. Lindelof tried the spectacular overhead kick right in front of him, which put him off. And then Rashford arriving on it really late from deep after it was half cleared, has pulled it well wide. There was a strange set piece because the ball was the right one. They had 2 over, but again, they both went for it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And because McTominay was just behind, it then took him by surprise, ricocheted off his thigh, and the chance was gone. But it was quite a clever free kick from Fernandes. Rather than whipping it in, he just clipped it towards the back post.
Camera just panned for a moment to Wayne Rooney, whose image was on the big screen. Derby County manager, Manchester United legend, in Poland tonight to witness firsthand what he hopes will be Manchester United's 6th European triumph. Here's Marcus Rashford, 4 to go. Rashford taking it on, can't get past Foyt. Foyt coming back, Rashford steaming back into the challenge, given away then by Gerard Moreno, the Villarreal goal scorer, just trying to protect Foyt in his battle with Rashford, with Foyt on a yellow card. And Villarreal perhaps a little bit fortunate to end up with a throw. 3.5 minutes of normal time remain. 1-1.
This is a different player by the one that was at Tottenham Hotspur. Foyt been absolutely outstanding, really aggressive in his defensive nature, which has meant that he's stolen in front of Rashford and been nice and aggressive with Luke Shaw. He's been outstanding.
He's a right back, isn't he? He's not a centre half.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a right back.
Yeah. And he looks like he's thriving in that position because he's happy to maraud forwards as well, as Villarreal look to bring on another familiar face.
Yeah, it is Alberto Moreno, who played 140 games for Liverpool, including a Europa League final back in 2016. And that was one of the ones that English side lost to Spanish opposition. Liverpool were beaten by Sevilla. He's won this competition with Sevilla as well. And he comes on, and his 10th appearance of an injury-curtailed campaign, and 8 of those have come off the bench. They're also going to bring on Mario Gaspar, who's a right back, and he will replace Foyt. So that is all 5 changes made by Villarreal. Manchester United haven't made any. Not yet.
Well, is that to get through the next 3 minutes plus added on time, or is that thinking of extra time?
Well, it could well be a bit of both. They can make another change. That's 5 for the regulation 90. If it goes to extra time, they can make change number 6. Manchester United have the ability to make 6 if it goes to extra time. They haven't made any as yet, just with the ball in the hands of De Gea in the 88th minute. The United bench: Maguire, Mata, Fred, Ahmad, James, Tejas, Matic, Williams, Van der Beek, Tuanzebe, and the 2 keepers, Henderson and Grant. Here's Shaw. Only just over 90 seconds of normal time to go now, plus stoppage time and seemingly extra time as well. Victor Lindelof back towards Eric Bailly, 1-1. Edison Cavani's equalising goal was half an hour ago now. Manchester United much the better side in the second half after a lacklustre first half display. How many times have we said that over the course of this season? But they have improved second period, no doubt about that. McTominay now sending a high ball in. Rashford picks it up, nice control. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Shaw in support. Shaw with time to clip it in. Pogba arriving, heads it over the bar.
Oh, what a big chance for Paul Pogba. It was a really good ball from Luke Shaw. He just stood it in towards the penalty spot and said, go on attack that, Paul. And he did, but he just gets it all wrong. He's trying to put too much power on the header. He's really thrashing his neck at it rather than just trying to glance it and guide it into that far post. He fires it over the top.
Well, Falcao is the only player that has ever scored in 2 Europa League finals. Paul Pogba unable to emulate him there. The header going over the bar, score in the 2017 final. Pogba, who's also played in a Champions League final in his career, lost that one with Juventus. It was one of the Real Madrid victories. 15 seconds the normal time to go. How many extra minutes? Well, if it was a Premier League match, you'd say 4. European match tend to be a little bit more conservative with their estimates of added time, so it might be 3. We'll find out in a moment. Here's Shaw. It is 3. Shaw will play it 4 for Rashford. Rashford for Lindelof. High right-footed ball over the top from him. Goal for Manchester United now. Surely wins it. Here's Rashford. Majestic control now by the corner flag to keep it in. Oh no, he hasn't quite. He's just lost his battle. But it looks as though he's brilliant. So he bounced down in front of him, flicked his right foot underneath it, up in the air, then brought it down, killed it, turned back inside. But just used a little bit too much of the pitch. And we're 2.5 minutes away from extra time, Dean.
Absolutely, but how did the referee's assistant see that, by the way? He was on the other side of the pitch, and for those that love their goal netting, these nets are beautiful. They're so pristine white with a real thick rope around it in a hexagonal shape. And how's he seen through that to see Rashford's control?
So what you're telling me is he's guessed.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, he might have guessed right, he might not have done, I don't know. Again, we haven't seen the conclusive angle. Villarreal have a free kick. It's been given away by Pogba, and this might be a source of concern. Moy Gomez, the man brought down, just got a knock to the right-hand side of his rib cage. Bruno Fernandes actually was the player that got, I beg your pardon, it was an awkward fall.
But it was just a 50-50 challenge. The clash of bodies, nothing more than that. But this is pretty much identical to the first half goal.
To where they scored, yep, absolutely. In it comes. Right-footed, clipped in deep, headed down by Pau Torres, picked up right-hand side of the area by Gaspar. It's back for Pau Torres! Oh, it's a good chance he's missed it. He turned it back onto his left foot, and he sent a rising drive towards the top left-hand corner, which was just too high and just too wide. He's only missed by about 1.5 feet. That was a good chance.
Yeah, it was a clever cutback from Gaspar to Pau Torres, and you're right, they just didn't quite get out to him quick enough, the Manchester United defence. Onto his left foot. Didn't look particularly natural, did it? As he tried to strike it towards goal, it looked more like a clearance downfield.
Second half, United have had 10 shots to 2, but only 1 on target, which has been the goal. And that will be a source of huge frustration for Solskjaer. But in the 35, 37 minutes of play, since they scored, they haven't had another shot on target. Here's Shaw. 30-odd seconds to go. Pogba working wide for Wan-Bissaka. We're deep into Fergie time, and Manchester United score now. They've won it. Greenwood trying to take on Moreno, who's having a little wrestle with him. And who got the last touch on that? It was Greenwood as Moreno cleared it. Moreno, a player whose beard hasn't particularly filled out in the years that he's been away from Anfield. And he's won this throw, and by the time he takes it, the 3 minutes of added time will be up. And we are heading for extra time here. There is the whistle by way of confirmation. So, for the first time since 2014, the Europa League final goes to extra time. Winning manager the last time it happened was Unai Emery. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hoping that isn't an omen. But the bottom line is, having trailed at half-time, United still in there fighting. We've got another 30 minutes to come, and the most significant moment of the night still lies ahead. 90 minutes played, Manchester United 1, Villarreal 1, and extra time to follow on TalkSport. Q, thank you very much indeed. Manchester United in their red shirts with the black shorts. It is the new red shirt for next season, I think. It's the one that's got the yellow and black fleck in it that makes it look like a British rail seat from the 1980s. Villarreal in all yellow. It will be United who will get the first period of extra time underway, kicking from left to right. 1-1 the scoreline. And we are back underway. Manchester United just hoping for more of the same, really. I mentioned late in the half that United had, in the end, 10 shots to 3 in that second period, but Villarreal didn't have any on target. United dominating possession, had nearly 60% of it, but only one shot on target. They've only had 2 shots on target all night. And that is where they need to improve. They need to turn their possession into something much more concrete. First chance for Rashford to do that now. Running at Mario Gaspar. Shaw's ball inside the penalty area. Greenwood coming around the back, but really the goalkeeper has handled it well.
Yeah, it was too floaty from Luke Shaw when he's trying to outswing that cross. If it's not flat enough, then it's too easy for Rulli, the goalkeeper. Extra time, Jim, it is painful, isn't it? It always is. The tensions are so high. The players feel the same as everybody else. It's all, we don't really want this. It's always nerve jangling.
Here's McTominay trying to take the ball away from Coquelin. Run through the two teams for you as they are in a moment. Suffice to say, United still haven't made any changes. Villarreal have made 5 and can now make another one as we're into extra time. So United at liberty to make 6. Shaw pulls it back for Lindelof. 90 seconds into extra time, and Villarreal will bite your hands off for penalties now. McTominay wiring into a challenge. Moi Gomez had come for. McTominay did enough. Loose ball squirms United's way. Rashford has it. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Pulled back by him. Bruno Fernandes drops it onto his left foot, having initially shimmied away from his right. It's half cleared by playing it back. Lindelof has it again. Villarreal sitting deeper and deeper, condensed in towards about 15-20 yards outside their own penalty area now. Work forward again towards Bruno Fernandes, but it's going to be cleared easily by Villarreal down the right-hand side with Gerard Moreno. Alcácer, who's playing as the lone striker, worked out towards Moreno via Parejo. Alberto Moreno can make his way forward. High left-footed ball swung in from him. Good defensive header from Shaw. Takes it out towards the touchline now to play for a throw. It's the Henry goal for United. Wan-Bissaka by Lindelof and Shaw. McTominay and Pogba. Greenwood, Fernandes and Rashford. And Cavani up front. For Villarreal, it's Rulli in goal. Gaspar, Albiol, Pau Torres and Moreno the back 4. And then they've got 2 sitting in midfield now, Capu and Parejo, with Coquelin just ahead of them. João Moreno on the right, Moi Gomez on the left, and Alcácer through the middle. Here's Parejo, playing it forward, it deflected off Pogba, still finds its target, Gaspar. Out towards the edge of the penalty area. Play back to Capu. Capu to the bearded Albiol. Albiol working it down towards the Villarreal left for Alberto Moreno. Back it comes from him to Pau Torres, and he goes back inside his own half for Raul Albiol. Alongside me, Dean Ashton.
So slow, isn't it? Extra time. No one's really looking to pop out of their system and close down at this stage. Tired legs, tired minds. Concentration levels need to be kept up, because no one wants to make the mistake that could cost your team. Mason Greenwood, to me, looks a little bit tired. He would probably be one that I would look at, especially with Moreno looking to get forward with fresh legs down the left.
Here is Moreno, right on cue. So Moi Gomez, the left winger, tucking in narrow at inside left. That allows the space for Moreno. And he's made the most of it. That left wing, left back position with Pedraza first, and then Moreno, who's replaced him, has been Villarreal's profitable avenue. Mario Gaspar brings it forward on the other side, out towards Gerard Moreno. Alcácer is waiting for the delivery into his feet inside the penalty area, gets a shot in, but Bai blocks it immediately at source, and is cleared easily by United, who win a throw, which Cavani wanted to take quickly, but I think that Rashford was on a different wavelength, so Cavani just waits for a moment, and there was a bit of clash of heads involving Etienne Capu. who's wincing with pain. He got caught by his own man Raul Albiol twice actually. Once by the flat of the arm, and then again by the point of the elbow on the top of the head on the way down, after both tried to sandwich Marcus Rashford, who just managed to escape that particular battle. It's 1-1, 5 gone in extra time on TalkSport.
They don't care. Centre halves today, they're taking everything. Their own player, the opposition player, he just came through everything there. Albiol, who has been superb tonight. His positioning's been great, his reading of the game's been very, very good, shown all his experience.
Yeah, he's rolled back the years. He's played nearly 700 games for club and country. Raul Albiol. It's a throw which will be taken by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Moreno beats Greenwood. Cleared to Alcácer. Can't hold it up. United will bring it back. Lindelof finding Luke Shaw. Shaw back in field for Marcus Rashford. Rashford working it inside the centre circle for Bailly. Just a little bit one pace from United in this kind of position as well. Maybe understandable. But as we've remarked already, it doesn't look as though it's a particularly hot night in Poland. I mean, they are on the banks of the Baltic, which probably is the only weather report you need. Dean and I watching the game from our studios in London. By able to bring the ball forward here in the 97th minute at 1-1. Bruno Fernandes, long right-footed ball forward. Albiol heads it away. Rashford have made a run in behind him. Parejo then nods it down through the midfield, and Capoue can pick it up and work it wide for Moreno.
They've done that very well. I think Albiol's been a big part of that. They haven't allowed the space in behind for Manchester United. As soon as that ball has got no pressure on it, then they just drop. Pau Torres and Albiol just drop 5 or 10 yards. It just stops that ball over the top, and it has frustrated Manchester United a lot this evening.
Capoue trying to get away from Cavani. Manchester United goal scorer stuck out of foot. McTominay brings it away. He's beaten 2 challenges. Then Moreno comes back and wins it back from Greenwood. Immediate inquest from the United players as to why McTominay wasn't given a free kick. Villarreal bring it forward. Parejo has done well, turns it away from Coquelin, and Mario Gaspar steaming forward from right back, takes it on towards the edge of the area, finds Gerard Moreno, the top scorer for Villarreal. Only Lionel Messi got more goals in La Liga than he this season. He's pulled it back towards Albiol. Albiol on the edge of the centre circle. Back from him to Pau Torres, now to Moreno. Just played it round the side of Wan-Bissaka to find Moi Gomez. Parejo, high right-footed ball swept in, and Shaw with a defensive header coming back. He had a Villarreal player coming back in behind him who got the lost touch, Moreno. He goes out of play for a goal kick, which is going to be taken away to the left-hand side by David De Gea, and we're already midway through the first period of extra time without a shot worthy of the name. 1-1.
Surely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to be thinking about a change. Surely, just to freshen the side up, give a little bit of an injection of energy and pace, maybe with Dan James or Ahmad, because at the moment it's really labouring this extra time, and Villarreal actually are looking the better side.
Come back to that point in a moment with Parejo in possession here for Villarreal, turning it to Moi Gomez towards the edge of the area. Wan-Bissaka backed off. It's Alberto Moreno, and he's shanked it wide of the near post. Which is going back to that point that you were making. You saw Ahmad play at Molineux. I know you were there at the weekend, and I know you were impressed with him as well, with the options that he has playing up front. I'm not suggesting he comes on for Cavani, but you just think that he, despite the relatively few miles on the clock, certainly has enough.
Well, he definitely gives them something different. What I really noticed against Wolves at Molineux at the weekend was the positions he was picking up. He wasn't staying wide, he was tucking in, he was dropping deep, he was going in behind, he had lovely ball control and manipulation of the ball. It's just something different now. At this stage, you know, you've gone 99 minutes against Villarreal. They need something else to think about. They're comfortable defensively. They've shown that throughout the evening. Something's got to change. Whether it's Ahmad with a bit of trickery, whether it's James with that out-and-out electric pace and running in behind, you know, something's got to change, I think, or else you're sort of happy for this to carry on and take penalties.
If you get that There's a right-footed shot comes in from Alcácer, but it's well over the bar. But that's 2 shots in quick succession Villarreal have had. They are having their best spell of the game now since the first half. Here's the change. That's a defensive-minded one. Ostensibly, although it will bring Paul Pogba into a more advanced role, because it's Greenwood that's coming off. Fred's going to come on, so Pogba surely will push forward to the left. Rashford will come over towards the right-hand side to take Greenwood's position. And it is now the starting lineup with 100 minutes gone that many thought, or it is the lineup that many thought would be the starting lineup, I beg your pardon, with Pogba playing on the left-hand side of the 3 in a 4-2-3-1 now. Villarreal have still got it. And they've worked it back towards the edge of the penalty area, the edge of the United box, that is, with Moreno making his way forward. He's seen plenty of it at the moment. They're coming on near the end of normal time. Goes back from him to Pau Torres. Left-footed ball forward from Pau Torres. 1-1 with 100 gone on TalkSport. And Bailly will try and bring it away, and he's been sucking into a challenge on Coquelin, and it's a free kick to Villarreal out on the left-hand touchline.
Well, if he needs to learn, Eric Bailly. You know, Villarreal players have shown already that it doesn't take much for them to go down. There's hardly any contact there, but you've just got to stay away. You can't be too aggressive. And he's going nowhere. Coquelin's not going to suddenly Cruyff turn him and out run into the byline with the crossing. That's not going to happen. Just got to know the players you're up against and calmness, because this is a dangerous situation.
So it's a free kick, and Parejo's the man standing over it, unsurprisingly. He just takes a couple of steps back. And with his brown eyes, he surveys exactly what he's got to try and hit inside that penalty area. Plenty of yellow, plenty of red as well. Parejo drilling it in, he's gone deep towards the back post. De Gea gets a right hand to it, flicks it away, out of play for a corner, which is the first of extra time.
Well, he saw it all the way, but there's just a light drizzle in Gdansk, and David De Gea went to punch it, and it just skimmed off the back of his knuckle and went behind. That should have been punched away, really.
Now for corner number 7. First that either side have got an extra time. And Cavani again, just telling his players to switch on. This is an area where Villarreal undoubtedly feel as though they might be able to exploit Manchester United deficiencies. They've done it once. 6 defending zone, the other 4 with the runners. It's swung inside the penalty area and headed away by McTominay. Fred then has tried to win it, and the counter-attack could be on. Bruno Fernandes scooping it forward. Rashford will chase after it. It bounces awkwardly for him, and it was Capoue that came across, read the bounce. He had a big advantage after it and could head it away. Cavani felt as though he was fouled there, being pulled in the groin area by Pau Torres, might be the politest way of describing that, but Manchester United win it back, and it'll be brought away out towards Luke Shaw. 103 gone, it's 1-1.
But again, good homework from Unai Emery. You know that Manchester United, from their own defensive corner, they're looking to spring all their forward players. That's what they're thinking. They're thinking that the ball's going to go, and Capoue, who's done a great job tracking McTominay there, did the same for the corner. They had an extra man back.
And Capoue now wins the free kick from McTominay. This has got penalties written all over it now.
It has, but it's a strange change, isn't it? Fred coming on for Greenwood. It is a strange change. The only difference you've got is whether Pogba can produce something from that left-hand side. Other than that, I don't think it particularly changes the minds of the Villarreal defence. It doesn't make them think all of a sudden, wow, there's a real threat in behind, or there's somebody trying to cut inside our full-backs. They can still keep the shape because Paul Pogba's going to stay in front of them.
Well, it's a change potentially that might have been more effective had it happened 20 minutes into the second half, in the period where Manchester United were having much more possession than they're having now, as the ball is played in and De Gea comes out and catches it. Whereas now, United aren't getting the possession to be able to try and get the best out of Pogba, and him working off Bruno Fernandes, which is where it always seems as though they're most effective when they can play pretty close to each other in and around the edge of the opposition penalty area. United aren't having the ball in those kind of areas at the moment to be able to make it work.
No, they're in the quicksand, aren't they? That's what they are. They're struggling to get any sort of tempo, any rhythm, any real ideas to the attack. They're keeping possession, but where was that real injection that we saw prior to the goal, where Luke Shaw was flying down the left, Wan-Bissaka down the right. Now it's gone back to what Villarreal were really comfortable with, which is possession between Lindelof, Bailly and one of the midfield players, Fred, who nearly gives it away, but they're comfortable with this.
Yeah, you thought he'd given it away. He thought he'd given it away as well, with a touch with his right foot, and then scrambling. He was just a mass of arms and legs as he tried to bustle his way forward to get the second touch. He did, and United have retained possession. Right at the end of the first period of extra time, it's played forward by Lindelof. Lindelof out towards Luke Shaw. 1 additional minute to be played. In towards Pogba. Pogba clipping it in, right-footed. Coming around the back, Marcus Rashford. All appeal for offside, and they got the man off, and it's a free kick to Villarreal inside their own box. 1-1 it remains.
Yeah, he's been a frustrated figure, Marcus Rashford. He just goes a fraction early. It's a great spot from Paul Pogba, but Rashford doesn't need to either. He's got the pace to get there, but he just wanted to steal it hard.
1-1. 20 seconds of this first period of extra time to go. Ball at the feet of the goalkeeper, Rulli. Played forward, McTominay's headed it straight into João Moreno, and out of play for a United throw. Controversial decision in some ways, but one that isn't going to have any effect because the throw is taken. And that's the last action of the first period of extra time. 1-1 at the turnaround. Hugh? Thank you, Hugh. Back underway. 15 minutes to go. Then potentially penalties. And Villarreal kicking from left to right in this second period of extra time. Here on TalkSport, 1-1 as it's been since the 55th minute. And Villarreal on the front foot from the start of this second period. And Victor Lindelof has given a free kick away, fouling João Moreno. It's his goal just before the half-hour mark from a Danny Parejo free kick, very cleverly worked, that gave Villarreal the lead. Edison Cavani equalising 10 minutes into the second half when a shot from Marcus Rashford deflected off Scott McTominay into his path, and he made it 1 apiece. Another free kick given Villarreal's way, and Parejo stands over this. De Gea patrolling the space in behind his back line. It's nodded down. Cavani knocks it away, but the whistle had gone. It was a push by Albiol. It's a free kick to Manchester United. 106 gone. It's 1-1, and that penalty shootout is getting ever closer.
It is, and the fear of making a mistake creeps into every single player's body. You don't want to be that person that makes a mistake, which means you are trapped and you can't free yourself into playing the way you want to play. We see it so often in extra time. It's because of that fear.
That's a good ball through. Edison Cavani chasing it, and out came the goalkeeper. It was just one straight ball right through the midfield from Lindelof, and he got it 50-60 yards along the deck all the way through. Cavani had timed his run to perfection, but Rulli saw him coming.
Albiol, it's the first time he's looked laboured, wasn't it? Wasn't alert at all to that. Luckily his goalkeeper was.
Sign of promise as far as United are concerned, potentially. The 35-year-old, maybe his mind's still sharp, the leg's not quite after 107 minutes. David De Gea clears up now and puts it out of play. 13 to go, still 1-1. Jim Prafford and Dean Ashton talking you through the action from London, of the game taking place in Gdansk here on TalkSport. Hugh Woozencroft in the chair, Andy and Jason ready for the sports bar, but don't know yet exactly what kind of programme that's going to be tonight. It all depends on what happens to the most significant moment of the night, which lies ahead in Gdansk. Fred's given a free kick away. Yeah, he's just out of control there.
He was, but he's slightly unlucky because he gets there first but doesn't get quite enough of a touch, and his momentum takes him into Coquelin. And again, another free kick. Let's be honest, Manchester United have not even been a force whatsoever in this extra time, have they?
No, not at all. Villarreal have been the better side. Parejo with another free kick, easily claimed by David De Gea. And if you're just joining us, just to reiterate the situation, United have only made one change so far with 108 minutes gone. Villarreal made 5 within the 90 minutes, and as a result of that, having changed half the outfield players, they look the fresher, they look the more purposeful.
Well, it feels as if Unai Emery made the changes as he saw the game unfolding and felt, well, here's suddenly a change after the goal. I need to make a change to change the pendulum of the game.
United looking long here for Marcus Rashford, and looked just a little bit tired as Albiol was trying to shepherd the ball back into space to his goalkeeper. Rashford maybe just got caught there and has
a little bit of cramp maybe.
Just had to hurdle the goalkeeper, and he just hurt as he came down. And Rulli is trying to attract the attention of the referee actually to Rashford's problem, to his credit. And Rashford has gone down, sitting down now inside the penalty area, and Rulli puts the ball out of play. Fair play to him, because that is the game being played in the right manner. Rashford smacks the ground with the palm of his right hand in frustration, which suggests it might be more than cramp. That's a worry.
Yeah, he's just grabbing his foot. In fact, can you imagine Gareth Southgate watching this game, sees Rashford go down with what looks like a foot problem. Also, he'll be one of the penalty takers.
Well, United are going to bring Dan James on if Rashford can't continue, and he is just being talked through the array of set pieces at either end of the field now. 10 minutes to go. Rashford's back on his feet and is being led off by the medical staff. I don't know whether James for Rashford's a change that's going to happen anyway. Camera pans to the Villarreal supporters who've made their way up from eastern Spain, 2,000 of them, and it is they that are making the noise at the moment. Feeling on the Manchester United bench, looking across to Rashford, trying to gauge the severity of this problem. It's going to be a double change for United in a moment. Tuanzebe and James are the players that are coming on.
Well, you just think maybe Eric Bailly's not played a lot of football, has he? All season, in fact. Maybe he might be feeling it, unless there's something we don't know, and Tuanzebe is a penalty specialist.
Maybe. Here's McTominay playing it for Pogba. Now Paul Pogba trying to take on Capoue. Slips it to his left-hand side for Edinson Cavani. Fred in support for him. Work back instead for Shaw. Rashford still on. In space on the left-hand touchline. Shaw goes back for Fred. Fred now to Eric Bailly. Slightly heavy touch from him. And then his second touch just became a 50-50 fight ball. Won by Paco Alcácer in the midfield. Gerard Moreno with a long ball swept forward. Alcácer heads it on to Moreno. Left-hand side of the edge, back for Alcácer again. Trying to get away from McTominay, who did well to get back goal side and steer it to safety for Bruno Fernandes. And Wan-Bissaka smacks it away.
Not only did he do really well to track, but he made sure he didn't just stick his leg in to possibly give away a penalty. He really made sure that his body was in the way before he made the challenge, which is difficult when you're tired.
Those are the thoughts of Dean Ashton, former England international, here on TalkSport. 1-1 the score between Villarreal and Manchester United. We'll bring you the Champions League final. Andy Townsend and Stuart Pearce alongside me Saturday night for that. Mark Saggers in the chair. Ball back from Mario Gaspar. Albiol under pressure from Rashford, who's not quite right, it has to be said now. Albiol was able to play it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Pau Torres. Then got the ball from Rulli. Moreno works it down the line. Moy Gomez trying to turn inside. Eric Bailly just having a little kick out at the ball. Moreno takes over. Moreno putting it back. Danger for Coquelin on the edge of the penalty area, but he couldn't turn, and McTominay brings it away. And then is caught off the ball there, and he's lying down holding his face. Play goes on, and Alcácer's got it inside the penalty area. Clipped it in. Coquelin chests it down. Shot in on the turn. Appeals for handball, and Gerard Moreno struck it. Now he's played forward again inside the penalty area. Still McTominay's down. Shaw should be able to bring it away. And play will now stop so that he can clear. And the United players race over to the referee to ask why play was allowed to continue when Scott McTominay is down holding his face. We should be an obligatory stoppage. Cavani gets a yellow card for dissent. Only now does the referee go across to see whether McTominay's okay.
Well, we certainly couldn't see it off the ball, but McTominay has gone down, stayed down. He's still down, wriggling on the floor, holding his face. So clearly something has gone on.
hasn't been the game that's been played in the manner where you would imagine that he'd been done off the ball there. We'll have another look as McTominay brings it down, tries to bring it away, and it's a coming together between McTominay, who just had his eyes on the ball. The Villarreal player maybe had his eyes on the ball as well. There was a clash of heads, but the VAR is now having a look at the potential handball inside the penalty area. Now, Francois Letechier is just wanting to have a look to see whether he thought there was a handball as a shot from Gerard Moreno came in, and whether it did strike an arm, and whether it should be a penalty. And still they're having a look. Now they're not. VAR check over, and there's no case to answer, there's no penalty.
No, I mean, that would have been incredibly harsh in a game of this magnitude for a shot that was struck from less than a yard away, ricocheted twice, and then flicked up and hit Fred's hand. It's not. You can look at me like that all you want, Jim. It's not. There's no way that could be a penalty. No way.
I don't know. I don't think it should be a penalty. What I'm saying is the with my eyeballs out and stalks looking at it, is that the interpretation of the laws sometimes are such that when Fred has got his left arm away from his body, his hand, and I know that it has struck him from very close range, and it's been all because it's come up and bounced between his legs to hit his hand. In the Premier League, that's not given. But in Europe, maybe it's not quite so cut and dry. They did have a look at it for a long time. I think justice has been done. I don't think when they're drawing up the laws for what is a penalty and what isn't, I don't think that they got it in the mind that should be punished with a penalty. But these days with interpretation, you never know. Anyway, United will now make the changes. Tuanzebe is coming on for Eric Bailly. And Dan James is on as well. And I would imagine it's Marcus Rashford.
He's turned to the bench to say, what? I'm arguably your second best penalty taker, and we're a couple of minutes away from a penalty shootout.
116 gone. Now the second period of extra time is probably going to be elongated by a couple of minutes. In fact, it isn't Rashford, it's Pogba who's come off. So James for Pogba with 4 minutes of extra time. There's a couple of minutes of stoppage time to go. 1-1 in the Europa League final on TalkSport. Shaw playing it forward. And it's knocked away by Mario Gaspar, and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United left. Fred works it back for Lindelof. It's back for Fred again. Turned down the line, and he lost his bearings. He just played it straight out of play. Oh, we got a Solskjaer stance, arms folded across his chest. Looking a little bit forlorn. Unai Emery trying to make things happen with an animated presence around the edge of the technical area. Looked like a foul throw by Gaspar. Straight through to Lindelof anyway. And we've got 3 minutes plus stoppages to go. Shaw playing it forward. Long left-footed ball. Cavani will chase it. Bounces just inside the penalty area. Rulli almost outside the box as he picked it up, but judged it well. And then a little shove from Cavani on Albiol, who takes a tumble off the ball and picks himself up the bearded Spaniard with a big grin on his face. They've enjoyed their personal battle against each other tonight. 1-1 it is with 3 minutes to go.
Well, the onslaught has just not arrived from Manchester United, certainly in this period of extra time. There's been nothing, to be honest. It's been Villarreal that's been probing. Dan James, you'd feel that's a bit too late.
Rashford came off his chest and might have been able to chase after. He thought Shaw was going to, and Coquelin got between the pair of them. Fred and Shaw between them won it back. Fernandes plays it forward in extra time. With 28 minutes into extra time, United have had one shot and it was off target. And Villarreal have had 4. They haven't had one on target either. It's been quite an attritional game, truth be told, when you consider that we're 118 minutes in and we've seen 3 shots on target between the two teams, 2 of which have gone in. The play stopped again. Shaw had done his best to control. He was pushed over by Coquelin and then went down just holding his face, Gerard. I don't know whether he got caught. I don't think there was any malice in it from the former Arsenal man, but
No,
Shaw stayed down, and it's just going to elongate stoppage time at the end of the game even more.
Yeah, he made sure that he got as many blows in as he could, Coquelin, didn't he? As they fell to the floor. I'm sure it was actually his wrist or his forearm that he's holding gingerly.
Here's another penalty taker about to be introduced, Juan Mata. Scored the winner from the penalty spot at Wolves at the weekend. It was an awkward fall for Shaw, who took his weight on his right wrist and then put his left wrist down, and as he did so, Coquelin's weight went right through it and now onto it. Mata will be on in a moment. Juan Mata, who has won this competition twice. 2017 started the game for United. 2013 won it for Chelsea when Nemanja Matic was on the losing side that day. Mata, a player who's also won the Champions League. He's played under Emery at Valencia. He actually scored twice in his last match against Villarreal some 10 years ago. He's going to be coming on next break in play, 30 seconds from the end of extra time. There will be a couple of minutes to be added on because of the injuries to McTominay and Shaw. Shaw heads it down. And it goes without saying, United need the ball to go out of play so that they can bring Mata on. McTominay chips it out towards the right-hand touch, and he's just fired it over the head of Dan James. And it's a throw which will be taken by Villarreal on the left, and United haven't made the change yet, which is surprising. They must be gambling that the ball is going to go out of play again before the end of the game. We're in 3 minutes of stoppage time. It does go out of play now for a Villarreal throw. And still Mata waits, and still he doesn't come on. Moreno goes across to retrieve the ball from in front of the hoardings over on the far touchline. And Alex Telles is also going to come on, so it would be Telles for sure, you'd think, and Mata in a moment as well, but they're not making the double change yet. 2.5 to go in stoppage time at the end of extra time, at the end of the 2021 Europa League final, and the sides tied together at 1-1, and neither has really done enough to win it. Albiol go back to his goalkeeper. Rulli gets it away, long, high, right-footed clearance. Shaw's on the end of it, nods it down. Back in from Gaspar, through the legs of Fred. Lindelof clears. Cavani knows he's offside, makes no attempt to try and play the ball, even to the extent that Pau Torres, knowing that Cavani can't play the ball, lets it run as close to Cavani as he dares before knocking it upfield. Fred leaves it for Tuanzebe. He comes across, sweeps up, puts it out of play, throw to Villarreal, level the edge of the Manchester United penalty area with 90 seconds to go.
And it only takes a second, doesn't it? One chance from either side now, and you've won it.
Well, the whistle blew because it looked as though United wanted to make the change. They still haven't done so. Mario Gaspar. Shaw is there to put out of play, and it's a Manchester United throw, which isn't quite how Joao Moreno saw it. So will United make the change now? Or are they going to gamble that it's going to go out of play again in the minute that remains? They are going to make it now. So Mata is coming off of Wan-Bissaka. So that's the first change. Juan Mata, whose goal at Molineux on Sunday was his first in the Premier League for more than 2 years. And it was Wan-Bissaka's number 29 that came up. It is... oh yeah, he has come off, and McTominay's come off as well. And Alex Telles is the other player that is coming on. So Mata for McTominay, Telles for Wan-Bissaka. Just to get 2 more penalty takers on the field for the time that remains.
Will they even get a touch of the ball before they get a touch of the ball for the penalty? These 2 substitutions, but they are set-piece specialists.
Villarreal have made their final change as well. That's another penalty taker. You would imagine Dani Raba, who's only played 12 minutes of European action this season. He's a winger or a second striker. You would think he'd be a good penalty taker, so he's on as well. So the shuffling of the packs has been completed. We've got about a minute left to play. 123 minutes on the clock. Both sides settled for penalties. Referee might as well blow his whistle now. Fred's headed it on. It's just in behind Rashford. Mario Gaspar picks it up. And it comes down towards Gerard Moreno on the right-hand touchline, who checks, then tries to turn it back offshore, wins a throw. Moreno in no hurry to take it. And Manchester United will just slowly retrieve the ball. The rain continues to fall on the banks of the Baltic. And Unai Emery does his coat up. He's playing with his zip a little bit nervously. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not watching the final exchanges, writing down his list of penalty takers. And Edinson Cavani walks away off the field for the time being, with the full-time whistle having gone. 123 minutes of action. Couldn't separate the two teams. It is going to penalties. Manchester United won, Villarreal won, and it's a test of nerve to win the 2021 Europa League. I think it'll be Cavani, Fernandes, Rashford, Mata and Telles. Not in that order, I'm sure, but those will be the five, I would imagine. United did win their last penalty shootout against Rochdale in a League Cup tie when young Luke Matheson had the game of his life playing for Rochdale and scored. But United lost each of the 5 penalty shootouts that they played before that, beaten by Derby, by Middlesbrough, by Sunderland, by Chelsea and by Everton, stretching back over to 2009. They've played 3 European games that have gone to penalties. They won the last one, which was the Champions League final in the rain of Moscow against Chelsea back in 2008. Beaten in a couple of UEFA Cup ties in the past by Videoton of Hungary and Torpedo Moscow as well. But who will win this one? The goalkeepers, De Gea and Rulli, both being spoken to here by the referee Clement Turpin. There's a cursory shake of the hand between the two, and it will be Villarreal to go first.
Well, this is the one time in football where you've got no teammates to back you up, to bail you out. You're on your own. You take that long, silent walk to the penalty spot. Have you nailed down your process and where you're going to put it?
Gerard Moreno's going first, the man that scored Villarreal's goal in normal time. He's going to hit it left-footed. David De Gea went to his left, and Moreno saw him coming, and he's just rolled it into the net past him. It's 1-0 Villarreal.
He didn't look like he felt the pressure, did he? Cool as you like, eyes staring at David De Gea the whole way, that half check step, and then rolled it the opposite way.
So De Gea vacates the scene, and Geronimo Rulli, the Argentinian international goalkeeper for Villarreal, just walks across, picks up the ball, kisses it, stands forward, and now it's Mata to try and beat him. Mata in front of the Villarreal fans, got it in, 1-1. It was close, the goalkeeper went the right way, but it was enough power and accuracy to beat him, and it's 1 apiece after 1 penalty each.
What was so good about that penalty from Juan Mata is that in the corner of your eye you can see which way the goalkeeper goes. He's got a bright orange strip on, you can see it as you go up, and the fact that he went the same way, he just managed to lift it that little bit further away from the goalkeeper. Brilliant penalty.
So here's Rabat, who was brought on right at the end of extra time to take one. Blonde head forward for Villarreal, up against David De Gea, and he sends it in, no problem at all. De Gea again went to his left, and Dani Rabat again waited for him to go and just rolled it past him the other way. All 3 penalties in.
He looks more pumped, doesn't he, than Moreno. Didn't look too cool taking his penalty, and that's a risk. I always think down the middle, along the floor, that's a risk, but he sent De Gea the wrong way.
Next up, Alex Telles. So another left-footed penalty, and he spots the white ball with its orange markings down. dries his hands on the back of his shorts. He takes a purposeful walk backwards towards the edge of the penalty area. Longer run up than the three that have preceded it. Little trot and then breaks his stride and hits it past the goalkeeper in for 2-2.
Well, he's gone for the look like he's going to smash it. That long run up, as if you're going to really put your laces through the back of the ball towards the goalkeeper's left. And instead, as you just run up, you go as if you're going to smash it and then quickly side foot it the other way.
4 good penalties, it's 2 apiece. Tez with a big reaction there. Fred pointed to the heavens. David De Gea just dodging in a little bit of gamesmanship, just coming out to meet the Villarreal penalty taker. It's going to be Alcácer. Just in. De Gea went the right way, dived to his right, and he got the bottom of his hand to it, but it just wriggled in underneath his hand, and still nobody's missed.
And they're the ones that are so difficult for goalkeepers, because goalkeepers want to dive one way but at least have the chance to get the high one. And as they do that, if it then dips towards the bottom of the corner, then the hand's got to go down to save it, and it can't get down quick enough from David De Gea, who got a little finger on it but not enough.
Bruno Fernandes missed the penalty in Newcastle earlier this season, but generally speaking has been very accurate from the spot for Manchester United. He's third up, bends his run, hits it right-footed, and he's got it in just under the dive of the goalkeeper. So 6 penalties, 3 apiece. They've all been scored.
Same again. That little dip away from the goalkeeper, but really, I think he has to save this. He goes the right way. He gets half a hand on it. Yes, it's got pace on it. It's got a dip on it. But that's half a chance to have saved one, and Fernandes breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's the worst penalty of the 6 so far. Next up, Alberto Moreno, former Liverpool man, left-footed, great penalty into the bottom right-hand corner. That really found the corner with pace and precision. Now De Gea again went the right way, no chance of stopping that. 4-3 Villarreal.
Stunning, absolute stunning penalty from Alberto Moreno, right inside that post, side netting. If you hit the side netting, pretty much you always score.
4-3. Next up, Marcus Rashford. Rashford not able to score the 100th goal of his career for club and country tonight. Had one presentable opportunity. What can he manage from here? Right-footed. Goalkeeper bobbing up and down on his line. Rashford looking nervous. Waits, long run up, a stuttering run up, and now hits the ball and has put it in with aplomb. He looks so nervous. The whistle blew and he did nothing for a good 4 or 5 seconds, but he held his nerve. It's 4-4, we're effectively into sudden death already.
He's good at penalties, Marcus Rashford. He's really good. I always think he's always going to score. He really takes his time with this one. So many little stutters just to make the goalkeeper move, and then just whips it across into the opposite side.
Dani Parejo goes 5th for Villarreal, making that long, lonely, isolated walk forward to pick up the ball, put it down on the spot, runs up right-footed. Oh, De Gea maybe could have done better with it. It's beaten him. Kind of stayed on his feet. It's only a half dive, really. Parejo gets it past him. It's 5-4 Villarreal.
That can never happen, ever, in a shootout. The goalkeeper doesn't move, doesn't dive one way. You cannot do that, David De Gea. It was too easy for Parejo, and it wasn't even that good a penalty.
Well, sure, it's going to be Cavani to go last. I say last, hopefully not last for Manchester United. Last of the regulation 5, but we're soon going to be in the domain of those that don't really want one. Cavani addressing the ball, this to make it 5 each. No problem at all. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and still we're no closer to knowing who it's going to be. Will it be Manchester United? Will it be Villarreal? Will the hero be Rulli? Or will it be David De Gea, who Cavani embraces now to impart some wisdom and luck? It's 5-5 after 5 apiece.
You didn't expect him to miss, did you? He was always going to score that. In fact, I reckon he loved it. Uh-oh, it's time for the guys that didn't want to take one.
First up, Moi Gomez. He's looking nervous as well. Right-footed, no problem at all. David De Gea dived to his left-hand side and Gomez goes straight down the middle. Some of the penalties have been better than others. We haven't seen a ranked bad one yet. All 11 have gone in. That one's straight down the middle. Who's going to be up next for Manchester United? This unique, idiosyncratic test of nerve, where the stakes are so high, where the margin for error is so small. Here's Fred. He's assessing exactly what he's going to do. Fred to hit it, left-footed, great penalty. That's United's best penalty so far. Brilliantly taken. Dispatched with aplomb into the bottom right-hand corner. 6 each.
He was never going to miss, was he, Fred? Never. I never doubted him. Stepped up. It's probably one of the best penalties we've seen. Like Alberto Moreno, right in the inside side netting.
Raul Albiol has had a career that has seen it all. 690 games for club and country before tonight. Up against his former international teammate David De Gea. Right-footed. And David De Gea was committed and he's just calmly rolled it past him. Villarreal has scored.
And he lets out all that emotion that builds up on the walk towards a penalty spot. It's so nerve-wracking, especially when you're not a penalty taker. And Albiol just coolly side foots it the opposite way and jumps towards the Villarreal fans.
7-6 Villarreal. Daniel James for Manchester United. James right-footed, makes it 7-7. Some big nerves, big cojones being demonstrated here by the Manchester United players. Solskjaer can barely look. Man who has exerted influence on Manchester United's history with just about the last kick of the European final. But this is a European final where the last kick will either win it or lose it definitively. Villarreal's latest player is Coquelin, and he looks nervous and he's bent forward and he's kissed the ball and he spotted it down very deliberately. Coquelin back to the edge of the penalty area, right-footed into the top right-hand corner. That's a great penalty as well, because you really are in the domain now of those that don't want one, going 8th, but he's put it away quite brilliantly.
There's no way he aims this high. Not a chance he is thinking, I'm going to risk it going that high. But what a penalty! Right in the top corner. Firm side foot. Even if David De Gea had gone the right way, he was getting nowhere near it.
Number 8 for Manchester United, Luke Shaw. And he too has the demeanour of a nervous man. 3-step run up! Oh, he's just got it in! But just is good enough. As Rooney dived to his left-hand side, he got a strong hand to it. No celebration from Shaw. He just walks away, heart pounding, because he scuffed it and it wriggled in.
Really can't believe it. He literally cannot believe he's not saved it. I think he does think he saved it and then turns round and sees it in the back of the net. It is raining and it just must have slipped under his arm.
Well, that was one that should have been saved. I've had a couple of those. De Gea just going across now to try and impart some wisdom, saying that the ball has actually been put down in the wrong place. De Gea bobbing up and down on his line, trying to outside Mario Gaspar, who sends it past him. And still this display of immaculate penalty taking continues. 17 out of 17. And De Gea dived past it underneath it as Gaspar drove it into the roof of the net. He did actually get 3 fingers to it, but such was his balance on the way down and the pace of it, he couldn't keep it out.
And now Tuanzebe. I said, did he come on for his penalty taking? Well, we'll find out.
Next on Tuanzebe. Hits it right-footed. That is another immense penalty under pressure.
How many times have they sent the goalkeeper the wrong way? Unbelievable penalty from Tuanzebe. Again, if you're unsure, make sure you walk up and you firmly side-foot it towards the corner rather than trying to smash it. I always think that firm side foot has got to be your best opportunity to get pace and accuracy on it.
Okay, so we're down to the two outfield players deemed the worst ones. Pau Torres first, and then Victor Lindelof. And then it'll be the keepers. Torres wearing 4, addresses the ball left-footed, and he's put it into the top left-hand corner. It's 10-9 to Villarreal.
Again, a magnificent penalty. Pau Torres kept his eye on De Gea, and then again, that firm side foot high into the roof of the net.
So let's just take a breath. It's Victor Lindelof. Spots it down. And if some of those that preceded him look nervous, he looks petrified. He spotted it down. He's going to hit it right-footed. Great penalty! And all of the outfield players have scored. Gone right through the card. All 20 have found the net. And he's down to the keepers.
This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Quality of penalties have been outstanding. Victor Lindelof whipping it with the inside of his foot, curling away from Rulli, who got a fingertip to it again, but it was too powerful.
So Rulli against David De Gea. Just when you think you've seen it all, it's a European final penalty shootout that goes down to the keepers, and Rulli sends it past De Gea. Just fired it in. And now De Gea has to do likewise to get us right back to the beginning. 21 penalties down, 11-10 to Villarreal. No stopping that one either.
This is the best one yet. He's absolutely drilled it, pinged it into the back of the net.
De Gea, the Spaniard, against the Spanish team bidding to win their first ever major trophy of any form. David De Gea has to score this. He's saved by the diving Rulli down into his left-hand side. David De Gea's penalty stopped by Geronimo Rulli. And it's Villarreal that win the Europa League for 2021. There had to be a villain somewhere down the line. And it's David De Gea who makes the walk. Distressed, frustrated, back to the centre circle. Players coming out to commiserate with him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, to congratulate Unai Emery. The Yellow Submarines celebrate in front of their fans. Manchester United have missed the opportunity to win a 6th European trophy. They've blown the chance to end a 4-year trophy drought, which will go into a 5th season and compound the pressure. It's Villarreal's maiden success. 21 successful penalties, but it's Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea who couldn't save any of the 11 that went past him, who fluffs his lines, didn't get the power on it that was necessary. Rulli gets the right way, made the save, and Manchester United have been beaten. It's Spanish who triumph over English in a European final yet again. The 10th time in a row that has happened over the last 20 years. Villarreal players, staff, fans in tears. A side who 30 years ago were playing provincial football, and now they've won a European trophy. And Manchester United, so frustrated at their inability to make the most of their superiority in most areas of the field, to make the most of their possession, to take chances, to get over the line. 4 successive semi-final defeats under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've made it to the final, but they've come up short, just short, agonizingly short. But they've fallen short again. And more questions will be asked as a result, as their season ends with a De Gea penalty miss. Manchester United won, Villarreal won after extra time. Villarreal win 11-10 on penalties.